This is for you. I know you're
One,
not gonna take
two.
it,
What is that? Donate it to something. I'm gonna take that money.
Donate
You're
it.
crazy. What is that? You pay the guests
Yeah, I know your time.
just to like make sure they have Uber money or something like that.
It's just like I'm making money off it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should have some.
Yeah.
I get paid for spots. I take that money.
I guess that's good. Yeah, I think that. Do you
Rob
feel
Lowe-
like
Rob Lowe took
conflicted
it.
morally? No, I'm not taking it.
Rob Lowe took it. Morally what?
Like if you didn't do it, would you
Yeah. I've been
That's-
doing it for a decade already. I've been paying people.
really?
Yeah.
Where does this like where does the what's the impetus for this for you? What's
It takes your time. I don't know.
No, but like why do you feel conflicted about it? Like is this like religiosity in your background or is this
No, it's just we should get paid for our work.
so it's a comedian thing. It's like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
usually
yeah.
overlooked and nobody cares about our time.
When there's a
so-
bar show and there's no door,
Yeah.
then don't pay me.
Yeah.
But when there's a $20 door, of course, pay everybody a little
Yeah.
bit. You know, remember the UCB when they wouldn't pay anybody?
I know.
And it was like, well, you're lucky to perform here. I'm like, and you're lucky to get the Galifianakis to come down.
Yeah.
And Silverman. Like, what do you give us our fucking valet money at least?
Yeah.
Metzger was like, I'm out $250 on the way and $250 on the way back
To do what?
to take a fucking subway down there.
Oh, I thought you
and
meant
a
like
subway back.
$250.
Oh, no. It's like pay my subway.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was the idea behind spot pay back in the day. It's like you got to find a way to get me here in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I need to take a taxi to get here on time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. One time Metzger, I was just splitting the door for the storytelling show.
Yeah.
So people were making like $1,000 on a Tuesday.
That's some good money.
Yeah. And Metzger was like, oh,
Really
my credit
money.
card is working. Like, buddy, get a cab.
Yeah,
I have
I'm paying you.
$1,000 waiting for you. And
Yeah.
you're out, you can't do 100.
Yeah.
Then he never made it, and we all made a little more. It's like, all right.
But you're strict about this.
What do you mean?
Like this is something that's like really important to you that you have to do it. You're disciplined.
Yeah, I just have it.
As erratic as you are, I'm surprised you're this disciplined about things.
If I didn't get spot money, I don't know if I could do it. If I didn't have cash on me easily.
Yeah, that's
it's
the-
like
that's
going to
funny.
the ATM.
So
That's
your
another chore.
discipline is a thing of convenience. Hold on, this is good. I'm learning so much about out here.
I mean,
This
it's
is
like-
great. This is great. The
luckily I'm
fact that you
full of
have the
20s.
cash, you don't have to do an extra thing.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to be a good person. You are Burning Man.
I'm Burning Man.
No, you are Burning Man.
What do you mean?
I don't know if we started yet.
Let's start. All right,
Okay,
let's
go,
start.
go.
Where you been and where you going? This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's You Be Trippin, yeah.
Guys, welcome to the You Be Trippin. It's a travel podcast. Everywhere we go somewhere different. And this one is about a state of mind of some sort. I have on today a guest that has corrected his terrible hairstyle, and he's now back for your pleasure. Andrew, non-Jew Schultz.
Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up for the
Yeah.
internet. Yeah. No, what's up, my man?
It's going. But yeah, Burning Man. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
I love it.
If we've included the beginning, well, it doesn't matter. We'll do it anyway.
Yeah, we will. They'll put
We're
at
gonna do
least
it
a
anyway.
teaser in there.
Yeah. There's like people are capable of being like really kind and generous and good when they're emotionally full.
Interesting. Yeah, you get a chick, and then you're like, I'll hold the door now for people.
Yeah.
I'm getting drained.
Yeah, you have extra cash lying around. You're like, when people come to my podcast, I want to pay them because it's the right thing to do. But having to go outside in the rain to the ATM,
Oh, yeah, no way. You came out in the rain today.
of course.
You should make a little money off that.
No.
I mean, at least where you're like, yeah. But at least like when you're out at lunch or something, you're like, oh, I don't have a fucking tip money. I'm like, oh, I got some from Art.
So here's
Rob Lowe took it. Chuck Palahniuk, the guy who wrote.
Yeah.
He took it.
Really?
People take it.
How was Chuck?
So interesting. I
Yeah.
was a bad interviewer that day.
Why? You weren't prepared?
I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it right. We were doing something about, full circle. The beginnings of Burning Man.
Get out of
The
here.
Mary, whatever they did in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Those
I don't-
pranksters.
Okay.
You don't know anything about
I'm
this?
not familiar with it.
He was second level or just after these pranksters that started all these weird shits in San Francisco, in the San Francisco area, like dressing in a salmon outfit and running against the current at a marathon. Yeah.
Swimming upstream.
Yeah, the SantaCon was started by them.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it got out of hand.
Okay.
Just like Hamas.
Yeah. Okay.
So they did all this stuff, and it was like this small Burning Man thing.
Yeah.
And then it went like into Nevada, Then it became this bigger.
So that was the precursor to Burning Man. What are you doing?
I'm looking something up.
Wow, I never heard about this. The only rumor I heard about Burning Man while you look this up is that Dr. Dre was part of the people that discovered it.
What?
It's probably not the case. But that he was out in the desert filming, what was that Tupac video?
Cacophony Society. Yeah.
I don't know. But remember the Tupac video where he's like, they're doing Mad Max?
Okay.
So they were out, and then he saw these guys partying in the middle of the desert because they were out there while filming it. They're just trying to find a barren desert. And then he saw these like white dudes doing wild shit. And apparently he gets involved and he helps it blow up to what it is. I think it's complete bullshit, but that's, the lore.
It was already going. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
West Coast group of pranksters called the Cacophony Society.
Wow, I didn't know this.
They did a bunch of pranks. It was people organizing hugs, spectacular displays.
Yeah.
So they'd have a bunch of like like Santa's getting on knowing the route of a bus, one by one, different stops.
That's great.
At first, the Santa was like, "Oh, where did Santa go?" I'm like, "There's another one."
That's
and
great.
another one, and
That's
just to
great.
fuck. They're not filmed.
great.
They're just to fuck with people's perception of reality.
That's great.
They're often boring jobs. Yeah.
And Palahniuk wrote
Fight Club, Choke.
What's the other Bateman one that I'm thinking of?
Bateman one. He did.
Didn't he do the Patrick Bateman?
Oh.
Am I getting that wrong?
Wait, no, I don't think that was him. What was that one? Oh, damn, where he was quoting all the Huey Lewis in the News,
Yeah.
the seminal band from the.
Yeah.
I don't think that was him. What book was that? Damn it.
Well, there's another book that.
Oh, damn it, gone.
Damn, fuck. Like American Psycho.
Yeah.
American Psycho. And then there's another book. Who wrote American Psycho?
Bryson Ellis.
That's
Bret
what I'm
Easton
thinking.
Ellis.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Ooh, he
Anyway.
should've committed suicide.
Yeah.
I can
Rough.
see him that old.
Yeah.
So wait, okay, let's go to Burning Man.
Yes.
How long you been going?
I think I've gone 4 times.
Who told you about it?
So my buddy Bobby.
Fake name?
What's that?
Fake name?
No, real name, but I actually won't go too much into
Okay.
who he is. And you would not expect to go to Burning Man for sure. And so he told me once, I had just broken up with a girlfriend, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Do you want to come to this Burning Man thing?" And I was like, "What is it?" It's like a concert. Like I had no clue what it was. I thought it was like a concert. I thought it was like Coachella or some shit. And he's like, "Yeah, no." He's like, "Just go buy these things. Buy like a face mask and buy this other shit." And like, I'm like, "What is this? Is like camping? Like, why do I need like goggles? Like, why? It's in the desert." So he's
Yeah.
like, "Just buy all this stuff. Buy a canteen for like water. Buy all this shit, and then just come meet us." And I go out there and we meet him in Salt Lake City, and we drive from Salt Lake City where we pick up the Winnebago to Black Rock, which is where Burning Man is.
What year is this? I'm trying to get a sense of like when you went in the. I have lots of questions.
10 years ago, maybe?
Okay.
Something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Right before the kind of explosion of knowledge of it.
Anybody there would be like, it's already over.
Yeah. So they say that about New York too.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So
And there's kids coming every day going, "What a city!"
Okay, so here's the thing about Burning Man. It is everything you think it is, no matter what you think it is. So if you're cynical and you're like, this shit is over, it's a bunch of people from LA and just models dressed in rhinestones, this
Yeah.
is the dumbest, most contrived shit, it's that. It is, if you're listening to like weirdo tech people tell you what the future is going to be, it's that. Like, I remember going randomly, this is like maybe 10 years ago, maybe longer than that, to like a crypto talk there.
Really?
Yeah.
That does not jive with my
Oh.
what I think of Burning Man.
Okay, so maybe we go like, okay, so I don't even know how we should.
When
break
you
this
told
down.
me, you were like, "I think you should check out Burning Man." I was close one time, I'll tell you, and then I got a vasectomy.
Yeah. You and I. You and I. That's just insulting to me. I need to put a stop to this thing. This thing's got a mind of its own.
And I was gonna go with Duncan and Merv. And
Anybody who doesn't know, I just put out a whole special about how my sperm does not swim.
we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But we don't
okay,
have to talk about it ever again. I'm here to discuss tripping. This is not a
Mine
shameless
really
plug.
doesn't swim. You think yours did?
No, you got Shamu. It's just not allowed out of the pool.
That's right.
It's just stuck in SeaWorld.
It's a Panama Canal
Yeah.
closed.
Okay.
Shamu.
Okay.
But
Tell me what your thoughts of Burning Man are.
well, you were like,
Let's-
you should.
yeah.
Well, okay, I was gonna go. I got a vasectomy. The doctor was like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You should be fine. And then I'm like, all right, I'll get it 2.5 weeks before Burning Man. I'll be covered.
Yeah.
And then it's still like leaking pus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, it's not healed yet.
Poor
like
Ari.
3 days out.
Just
I had
always
all-
leaking. Just always leaking from
Balls
every
leaking.
hole in the body.
And I was like, can I go to Burning Man? He goes, describe it. I'm like, it's a lot of dust. And like, he goes, is there any way to not get dust on your penis? And,
Yeah.
Right. I was like, no. And he goes, all right, well, you're going to get an infected dick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if I go anywhere? He goes, you may have to amputate. I don't know, man. Don't get your dick infected. It's a pretty, I don't think anyone's chancing this.
That's it. And you don't get the vasectomy to also lose your dick.
Right.
Yeah. The first guy in history.
Yeah, I may as well just get the dick chopped.
Exactly.
So I was like, fuck, couldn't go.
Yeah.
Mervis took my tent. We had a swamp cooler in it, and I couldn't do it. And I wanted to go back. And you were like, you should go to Burning Man. I think you'd enjoy it. And I remember being cynical, like, oh, really, Andrew?
Yeah.
The guy who loves drugs would enjoy Burning Man? And you were like, dude, it's more than that.
Yes, it is. It is
Okay.
more of that.
All right.
It is more than that, but it also is just that.
Okay.
That's why, like, the way I try to approach these things is, first of all, anytime you pitch Burning Man,
Yeah.
it's like pitching Game of Thrones. You know how like it's great, but you sound like a virgin, right? There's dragons and castles, right? You're just like, there's no way it's good based on describing the show. But then you watch it. I don't know if you like Game of Thrones or not.
I did love it up till 5.
Of course.
Yeah.
The first few seasons, you're like, this is the best show.
When Hollywood writers took over from actual writers.
There we go. Now we're talking. Real guys from Jersey. That Kurt Metzger joke is so funny. He's like, he goes, do you know that the guy who wrote, he goes, you know, the guy who wrote Game of Thrones is from like Ridgewood, New Jersey or something like that? And he's like, what? He goes, do you know how many times you have to get stuffed in a locker to write that? Whatever the fuck it is. It's just like you would think it's written in the 1700s by some guy in
Yeah,
England.
yeah. Who like my grandfather saw a dragon.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing about it is I guess is like what you expect. You could go there and then find that exact thing. Like a bunch of douchebags, like they only just want to do drugs and like there's nothing interesting about it at all. And
Yeah.
you could do that. And you could also go there and have like a transformative experience. I know that sounds super corny.
It is, but I get what you're saying, but it does sound. How do you
trying to-
say that without being corny?
I'm trying to caveat it so that when I do say something like that, you're aware that I'm aware of the reaction to that. Does that
Yeah,
make sense? Like,
yeah.
and the eye roll is reasonable.
It's like when you're like an art form, like stand up. By the way, it's dick jokes.
Exactly. Like we feel embarrassed to say it's an art, even though if you really ask us, we're like, yeah, it's a fucking art. We're artists. But we feel a little embarrassed. So yes. So
Not many artists walk drunk white women.
dude, how much art is consumed by a bachelorette party? How many
They all go to the Louvre with dick necklaces, screaming.
just heckling photo? Yeah. Okay.
Show your puss.
Okay, so you give me your perception, what you think it is, and you're right, by the way, in everything you think it is.
Yeah. Well, I know. When people say it's over, it's all the Hollywood people showing up, and they had
Facts.
locked RVs, and they're totally not the spirit of it. And then Baldinger was like, "You don't even see those people."
That's also true.
It's 80,000 people, and those are 100.
So let's describe real quick. It's like
Okay.
80,000 people converged onto the desert. It's a nonprofit. You can't wear logos. You can't.
Whoa, wow!
Yeah, there's no logos. So you can't wear logos. You can't promote anything.
It's frowned upon if you wear a Alexander Julian Couture shirt.
Nobody can go up to you and say, take off your logo. But you can't have, because it's radical acceptance and radical inclusion. There are these tenets. You can look them up. There's like 10 tenets of Berlin, but it's about radical inclusion. Like, how do we make sure everybody's included radically? So you can't do like, hey, this is just a private party with a rope. There's none of that. You also can't announce beforehand performers that are going to be there.
Oh, so they always go into fake name.
They don't even announce a name. The idea is you're buying tickets to this event and you're going there to this event to share and give something. There's no money. The only thing you can buy there is coffee and ice, and that's off survival, right? So
That's off survival.
that's so you can survive. Coffee, no, but ice maybe,
Yeah.
some shit. You know,
Depends who you
water,
ask, coffees,
water,
yes.
whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, but those
So you
the-
can buy water.
you can buy. I believe it's I don't even know if you can buy water.
Do people show up unprepared?
Yeah.
And then just like
You could live like a king unprepared, because somebody is going there that week, and the one thing that they want to do is, in their home, they built a little cart that their gift to the event, to the playa, if you will, is they're giving hot dogs out. So they spend months building a cart where they can cook hot dogs, and they can bike the cart out to the middle of the desert. And when someone hungry that's been doing drugs all night comes by, they go, hey, can I give you a hot dog? And there are 80,000 people that are doing different versions of this.
That's Abraham. That's the
Maybe not the hot dog, but yeah.
Yeah, but it was like taking people in the desert, literally.
Okay, so you're going to find a lot of religious backgrounds. You're also going to find, like, once you go, you're going to be like, oh, everything's taking from this. Like, every commercial you see is a version. Like, you'll see the creativity there, and then it's in a commercial. Like, even movies. Like, there's a whole there was that movie that I think, oh fuck, it was a Pixar movie or something. Like, a guy who goes to the underworld, or like he gets concussed. He was playing jazz or something like that. He was at the Blue Note, I think.
Okay.
And then anyway, the version of the world that they live in or that they go to, your soul, it's called Soul, Soul.
Okay.
Anyway, the world that his soul goes to, there's like a boat that's driving in sand because there's no water. It's all Burning Man.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait.
So like,
okay.
so the world that they go to is essentially Burning Man. And so a lot of these things inform a lot of pop
Imagery,
culture shit,
yeah.
but you're not there to see it. And keep in mind, there are people that go there, they won't notice a single thing. You'll see children there, like 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds. You'll see 70-year-olds. There are people that don't party at all. You see a lot of sober people. There's a marathon. Is it a marathon every day? Every morning, I think, is it a marathon? But like, people just run the whole ground. So it's 80,000 people converge on the desert, and it's very organized. There are streets.
Streets.
Well, the city gets organized and all this is donated time. Nobody makes money. You can't make money on Burning Man. So that is against the rule. You can't promote that you're a DJ going to be there. You have to come just because you want to be there. So the biggest DJs in the world that are getting paid fucking millions of dollars just go to DJ for free at Burning Man. And if they find out that a camp is promoting one of the DJs, they kick the camp out.
Wow.
They kick them out all the time.
Who's in charge?
They have like a board.
Okay.
And I think one of the directors died. But to maintain this over years, because it's so easy, how many things like get bought up by money and then get destroyed?
Bonnaroo. They had,
Every
the
single
year
festival.
after Live Nation bought it, there were more arrests on Thursday than the entire weekend before.
So every single festival,
Yeah.
right? Everybody's out there doing drugs.
Except Glastonbury's independently owned.
Well, and maybe it's still
Yeah,
the
they
best
won't
festival
sell.
out there.
They won't sell. Then there's kids there too, and there's sober adults. There's everybody.
So you're going there essentially, and the idea is, what can you give to what is your gift? And the gift can be really small. Like, I took a pink Starburst one year, and every time I was out, I had a good conversation with somebody. I just gave them a little pink Starburst, and I let them think that I just randomly reached into my pocket and they got the pink one.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Right? So,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
right? So it's like, but some people, what they do is they just have like chapstick.
Okay.
Some people make a magnificent art car, and it takes them the whole year. And an art car is essentially, it could be like a boat on wheels, and it's an actual size of a ship.
And so then you're not giving anything tangible to people.
You're giving them experience.
Right.
You can give them your time. You can just sit down with people and be like, hey, tell me whatever's on your mind. I'm here. Some people heckle.
Like Lucy?
Who's that?
Like the psychiatric advice from Snoopy?
Is that, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, Lucy's psychiatric advice.
Is it an ad?
No. It's from Peanuts. It's from...
Oh, sure. My namesake.
You know this.
Not related.
This.
Sure, yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You've seen this.
There's also like, you'll just be somebody that's sitting there with a microphone. You could just heckle people as they walk by. Now,
I like that one.
there's also like the version where there's like the sex parties.
Yeah.
And like fucking the weirdest sex shit you ever want to get into, you'll find it there, I'm sure. I went to one of those, there's an orgy tent, and there's like a part of the tent where you can join in, and there's a part of the tent where it's just like, hey, you can watch us. And I always joke around, like, the level of attractiveness between those two things is like something you've never witnessed in your entire life.
The people joining us are suck.
Man, it's rough. And then the people who watch are like, okay, maybe there's some good stuff here.
What you need is a few hot people to start, and
So-
then
so
the
the-
ugly people feel I don't belong.
They're shamed away.
instead of-
Very little shame there. There's obviously tons of nudity. There's all these parties. But the idea is, if you're radically including everybody, nobody feels like there's a rope that they can't get into, a party that they're not cool enough for.
Wow.
There's no hierarchy in terms of cool. Like so often, we live in New York City, so it's like, oh, I can't get into that club. So there's like
I'm not
an
even dressed
inferiority.
the right way. No way. I don't
Exactly.
know anybody.
When people feel included, when people feel accepted, and when people are trying to give, like they're not trying to take from one another, which is constantly what we're trying to do. Let me sell you something. Let me get you. How do I get?
Yeah.
They're going, how can I give?
Wow.
And they're on drugs. For a week, we can be really good to each other. And you get this kind of high from it because you're like, the drugs definitely help, don't get me wrong. But like, you get this high because you're like, wow, like humans are really awesome. And I felt really comfortable being really kind and generous to people because they were so accepting and kind of my generosity. And they wanted to actually give to me.
Yeah.
So you can't buy shit there. You don't even trade. They're like, it's a barter system. It's not a barter system. You need a battery. You walk to your gut next door neighbor and you go, hey man, do you have a battery? And he goes, yeah, sure. Take
I'm
them.
sick. I have one. Yeah.
And he can't wait to give you batteries.
Because the joy is in
Giving.
the giving.
There's a person who what they do is they set up a fucking,
This is how Steve Simone lives all the time.
who's that?
He's this like really nice comedian from LA. And he donates all his time to Children's Hospital, goes down there, organizes pizza parties.
And he probably lives a way happier life than every
Yeah,
one
it's
of
just
those
like
other
he
comedians.
gets something out of it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like selfish. We've talked about it.
My
where it's
dad
like,
battled depression. He's battled depression his whole life, but and he's the most generous, giving person. Like he just constantly is. Anytime anybody needs help, he's there for them, gives them his attention. He was trying to give like citizenship when he started having dementia. Like my mom had to like take his fucking debit card away because he would forget he was taking out money and giving it to the people in the neighborhood, like the fruit stand guy or this. Like the fruit stand guy was going to be a citizen because my dad was like, yeah, I'll help you. He doesn't even know how to help, but he's dementia, so he doesn't exactly. Anyway, give. It can make you feel good. So someone who battles with feeling good realizes that
that's a way out
it's
of it.
very helpful.
Ooh, good tip.
Anyway,
Good tip.
it's a you create that environment where you just are trying to give. You're not trying to take, and then they don't allow the taking, if you will. I'm not trying to like bash capitalism, but the idea is like, I'm trying to sell you something.
Bash
hey, this
capitalism, it
yoke,
sucks.
nah,
It changes
pretty
everything,
awesome,
ruins
but
everything.
It's pretty great. It's awesome, and we love it.
Literally ruins everything.
This has been
joyous
brought
in
to
the
you
world.
by Blue Chew. So
I mean, yeah, these podcasts when we started used to be straight through.
God bless.
You probably already stopped 4 times by now.
So it's just like you're in this environment where, and there are dark sides to it too. Don't get me wrong. Like it starts
Black
Saturday.
people, you mean?
Say again.
Black people?
I think I brought the first one. Like I
Yeah,
literally
it's-
think I might be
It's not okay. Yeah, it's not many.
that lacks diversity.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's open.
It is open. Anybody can go and is accepted. And what I will say is that a lot of people are hesitant even the first time, not because they're scared, but there's a little part of them like, am I tapping into this thing that like, they feel a little insecure, like they're encroaching on someone else's space.
Ooh.
I had that feeling the first time. And what I realized after taking somebody is the whole thing survives through the eyes of the people that are experiencing it for the first time.
And so you notice those people.
Oh, so you're not upset like, oh,
not
here
doing it
come
right.
the LA guys. No, you're like, do you remember? Like you remember what you thought when you walked out and you saw an entire city lit only by like those, what's it called? Neon lights. Like you got to get some of the images up of like what it looks like. 80,000 people. They create streets. They have a grid, and the grid works on alphabet and then time. So you live on a letter and then a time. So
Look at this.
this is all perfectly organized. They bring
What the fuck? When I was gonna go, they were like, "Hey, you can get there later because you're friends with Duncan."
yeah.
But we're all getting there like 10 days early to set up, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go for that."
That's awesome.
I want to go
too.
set up.
Some people would go.
I want to see it being built.
That's the purest form of it, or whatever. Like everybody has their own things.
Look, each one of these is a car down there.
So each one of those tiny little things is a gigantic Winnebago. Right?
Wow.
And then some people are just in tents. Some camps have a version of like tent and Winnebago.
Go ahead. No, it's okay.
That's the center.
That's the center.
You see that right there?
Yeah.
And like
This guy.
Yeah.
What's all this?
That's what's called the playa. So each one of those things that like those little markers.
Yeah.
Like that thing right there is an art installation.
Oh my
And
God.
and then in the middle, go to the middle thing right there. That's the man, and
That's
that
the man
man
you
is going to burn. And then there's another thing somewhere out there. Maybe it's the thing further back
How
to your
far-
left. Go right. Oh no, go
shit.
back.
Oh, go back.
So
to
go. Oh yeah. Oh, you're almost right there. You see that big thing over there?
This?
That's the temple. So that also burns, and then people will go to the temple and they'll like write a note to their lost loved ones or someone who just
That's what
passed.
Merv did. He put a picture of his dog up.
Yeah, and that's really emotional. You're walking there, there's just people crying,
And so that is
Entire time.
this.
and that changes every year.
It's someone else sets it up.
Somebody else sets it up with
Oh,
their
yeah,
own
look, different.
exactly with their own
Wow.
inspiration.
And they burn that too?
They burn it all. They burn it all, and they have their own inspiration. And it's this idea that I guess you're letting go of whatever that attachment is. And then the man they burn. I'll be honest, the
You ever
burns.
done it?
I don't care for the burns, to be honest. I think it's kind of like to me.
What
I'm
about
like,
Steve Byrne?
say again.
What about Steve Byrne?
What does that mean?
Steve Byrne?
Oh,
Comedian.
real Steve Byrne.
What about him?
Yeah, no,
It's
Byrne.
no,
Byrne,
I don't-
him.
I already said it. I don't
Yeah.
care. Yeah.
No. To me, it's like I go there for the connectivity.
Okay. But
So-
everyone does their own thing. Everyone gets their own thing out of it.
See, and that's the thing about it. Why I say it's like I tell people to hesitate to judge, because it's like if you let yourself explore, like if you just want to see art, you'll see the coolest art that you can climb all over. There's no security. It's actually a really it's the best argument for like libertarians, even though like none of them go. But it's like when people are left to their own devices and they're rich, they have enough money to build this shit, whatever. But there's no like building committee. You'll build a 6-story structure that people are allowed to walk all over, and there's nobody handing out a ticket.
Saying, this
There's
isn't
no
up to code.
waiver.
Hi, guys. Today's episode of You Be Trippin' is brought to you by Lightstrike, sponsor of the Two Bears 5K in Tampa, Florida on May 4th. Home of the men who wear golf outfits at night. Yeah, all they do is different. Is they take their sunglasses and they move from here. This is Tampa. This is Tampa Fun. Here with your golf shorts and a polo shirt at night, and they go to here. And that's your night outfit. You guys are trash. Tampa, Florida is trash. But you can get class right now with Lightstrike. This hydration drink inspired cocktail low-key brings its own self-care to the party with a crushable mix of coconut water, sea salt, and 5% alcohol by volume. And right now it's got multiple flavors like orange mango, which is an abomination. Orange and mango are natural enemies. It's like breeding tigers and lions. It shouldn't have happened. Or horses and zebras. It shouldn't happen. That's what orange mango is. These flavors are natural enemies and should never have been brought together. God would not appreciate it. Lightstrike comes in a reasonable sports drink bottle, giving you control over how hard you go. Want half now and half later? No problem. Yeah, just take it. I'm going to try this abomination right now. Orange mango. I listen to lime's fine, but lemon lime are natural. Oh, damn, that's good. Oh, that's good. Party like you mean it with Lightstrike. Learn more about Lightstrike at drinklightstrike.com or follow on TikTok and Instagram at drinklightstrike. Lightstrike Hard Refresher, an excellent source of 5% alcohol. Now, orange and mango. I'm going to have to rethink my values. Now let's get back to the episode.
And what you learn here is there are 80,000 people on bikes that are now electric bikes, biking in the sand, mind you.
Wow.
But there's no traffic signs. There's no stop sign. There's no anything. And nobody dies. Somebody died 1 year by running into the fire.
Yeah. Were you there that year?
Yeah, I think I was
Must
there.
have been a bummer.
I don't even, I don't remember it, to be honest. Like, maybe I wasn't there that year, but, like, it wouldn't change it that much.
Those was 80,000 people. When they said there's a death, it's like, well, yeah, with 80,000 people.
How many people die at
4
Coachella?
deaths.
How many
Yeah.
people die at all these other events where there's security every 5 seconds? They're looking through your
There's almost
bag and all this other shit.
chads when you go there. 8 like full on like forcible whatevers, but it's like, I don't know, there's a lot of people.
So sometimes you'll see like the state troopers or that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like trucks that are on the playa. Go back to that picture where you showed like that was really good. It was
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Black Rock City. Nope. Photos of boom, this one.
yeah. So what happens is this, right?
Damn, look how it's
So-
beautiful
so-
too with the mountains behind it.
In this, actually, can I hold it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Fuck, bring me back to that. But so you're surrounded by stunning mountains. I don't know if it's the Sierra Nevadas. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, it's gorgeous in the back.
It's unbelievable.
Does anyone walk out that way?
Of course, my boy. But they tell you, what they try to do is they tell you not to. So can they see what I'm doing with the okay.
The mouse, yeah.
So like walking out this way, there's a airport. It's a makeshift airport. And all these planes come down from Alaska. And they're the guys who like fly in Alaska. They come down and they'll land in the desert and they could take off in the desert because the winds are sometimes crazy. You have these sandstorms. Like you need like legit badass pilots to do this kind of flying. So more bougie people, I've fucking done it. You can fly in and fly out.
Okay.
The journey of doing the whole thing, not the setup, what you were talking about. This is the whole thing. You get your Winnebago, you go to a Walmart, you stack up on food and alcohol. We did our Walmart run in Utah.
Let's talk about your experience.
Okay,
too.
so you get your card, your Winnebago. You probably have to get it down to Salt Lake City because they all get bought up in Reno, which is the closest big place. So you just got to keep going further and further and further, and eventually Salt Lake you can.
And you make a road trip out of it.
You make a road trip, so you're there for it's.
I tried to rent an RV here.
Yeah.
And then the guy was like, "That just happens to be Bonnaroo weekend," and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm taking it there.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hide it. We're gonna drive down and do
They
gigs
give you
along
like
the
a
way.
mileage thing.
Yeah, like all right.
They try to jam you in this shit. It's so funny. Like the second you leave this place where everybody's just about giving and it's sweet and it's kind, and the second like the Winnebago place, anywhere you rent to Vegas, because it's Labor Day weekend, they go you can't return on a Monday, so you just go. So you just leave it there with the key and you go, I hope everybody gets it. And that's what we all do. Like you leave it there with the key on a tire and you go, I hope that you got your Winnebago back.
And you're still in a good mood of like, nobody steals.
Exactly. So anyway, so this way you have the airport. There's also one street that's not a street. It's like just little flags that are put in the sand to direct you back to like the town. Okay. The other direction, if you go this direction over here, eventually you go enough out where they put a little
like
rope.
Saying, it's like skiing. It's like, don't go past here. You're fucked.
It's basically like, it's the middle of the night. It's pitch black. You don't know where you're going. The only thing that you see when you're on the playa are these like patches of neon lights moving. And that's another party that's somewhere random.
Moving like out left?
Yeah, let me get you Burning Man at night. I'm going to get like some.
Do you have any of your pictures?
Yeah, I'm going to give you
we
mine.
We can plug those too if you want to plug your phone in. But yeah, exactly. Take over, bro. Yes. Producer Schultz instead of hiring someone.
Got you, my boy. Okay, so.
Wow.
So this is an example.
Wow.
That's when the man is going to burn. But I want to go for other little things. So like, look at this. Like that's the temple. Everybody's
guy with the bike.
Everybody's bike is wrapped in these neon lights.
Yeah, I remember that. You had to get
but there's
running
utility.
lights.
Because at night, in the pitch black, how could you ever locate your bicycle when you're walking around the desert?
Which you put it down and then walk on and do some shit?
Yeah,
go
you
into
just
a camp?
you put it down and just walk on and do some shit. But you have to go back and fight. And keep in mind, whatever you're doing in the playa is moving. So it's an art car with a huge DJ setup, and then they drive away. But your bike was located near that art car. Now the art car isn't there. You don't know where your bike is.
And also it's a way to probably finding your own bike, where it's like mine had the green and the blue.
Everybody has the green and the blue, right?
Right.
So yeah, exactly. Sorry. So you wrap these like lights around your bike, and now you can locate it. You know where it is. Some people will put like a huge thing sticking out, so you know where it is, or you park it by the bathrooms or something like that. But there's utility to this stuff. It's not just I want my bike to look like an asshole. It's how do I find it in the middle of the night when I'm on drugs and I forgot where the fuck I put it.
Yeah.
And then that string at the end of the property, you could go past it. Nobody's standing there telling you not to. It's just a reminder, like people back in the day used to just walk miles out into the desert because they were on fucking K or some shit like that. And it's their way of going, hey, you're at the end. You can keep going. But
this is the same as skiing. Like, hey, we're not going to come look for you if you go past here, and there might be like drop off cliffs.
But we recommend.
But like if you know somebody, go for it.
Yeah. So what's interesting is like when you leave people up to their own devices and they're responsible for their own fate, we take shit really serious. It's like everybody has like a thing of water that they take with them religiously and fill up religiously. Because you're like, God forbid, I'm stuck in the desert with no water. At Coachella, you're like, somebody will be selling water.
So you're doing right. You're always going past a place you can get some water.
You know what I mean? Or like somebody, they wouldn't put us out here without protecting us from water. You know, But out there, you got to stop at the end of a street because there's no stop sign and somebody else might run into you. And there's no accidents. Well, there's not no accidents, but there's very few because people both are thinking the exact same thing. My safety is on me.
But hold on. But then you're
Radical
adding
self-reliance.
But then you're adding drugs and alcohol to that.
Yeah. Even with drugs and alcohol, think about that. So look at all these
Wow,
bikes.
look at those bikes. Yeah,
So
I go big on that.
Each one of the bikes, right, is designed its own little thing. How could you find your bike here if it doesn't have
No
light?
fucking way.
And keep in mind,
Zero chance. On ketamine?
Forget it.
No chance.
And when you put your bike there initially, there was 10 bikes. 2 hours later, there's 10,000 bikes.
Right.
How you find it?
I don't know if there's a spot.
So,
What do you do when you go there? Or we can also not say if you want.
no, yeah, I'm totally fine.
What do you do when you go there? Like
My whole thing, as in most things in my life, is just like just connecting with friends.
Okay.
So like, I'll have some friends that I really want to like share these experiences with, and I find that like when they're in this state, they're in their most confident, they're most comfortable, they're most grateful, and I know me, like when I'm full emotionally, anything else I just give back. That's like the beauty of Molly, right? It's like if you were going to say Molly's a good drug, it's pretty fucking awesome. But the idea is like but very few people do Molly and they're selfish. Right? You do Molly and you're immediately like, okay,
you guys should all have some of this.
And hey, I love you, man. You're awesome for this reason. I just really want to tell you that. And I think that when you're around the people you care the most about, in environments where they feel really like cared for, loved, appreciated, but also it's like awful. Every day there is miserable. The weather is horrible.
Does it go from freezing to burning up? And so you have to dress for two different climates?
You can't even be outside during the day. Like, I don't know if I've been outside during the day ever. Like, you just sleep all day, and then, like, you can eat.
You try to do drugs till sunup and then go to sleep?
I've chased. I kind of tend to chase out there.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, I chase the party a little. Like, and then when you see that sun come up and it's freezing, you got your fur coat on, but you're dancing, you got some alcohol in the system, and all of a sudden that sun starts to peek over the mountains, and you see it, and everybody sees it, and the music is peaking,
Right.
and it's this collaborative experience. Everybody's feeling that same thing the exact same time. And music has a weird way of like stretching out your drugs. Like, no music, the drugs last an hour. Music, they're like 3 hours. Like something's going on. I don't know what it is. That's happening. It's peaking. The music is going crazy. And then you're like, okay, let me get some food and then let me pass the fuck out. There are some people that just keep it going. There are people there that don't sleep the whole week. It's insane.
RV is so much different than tent.
Sorry, again?
RV is so much different
I don't
than tent.
think people tent. I don't know how that's possible. During the day, it's 100 degrees. And it's miserable because the only way to keep it somewhat authentic is to make it impossible to get to and miserable while you're there. If it was nice,
Everybody
it would
be
be
there all the
Coachella.
time, and it'd be too easy to get to.
You need people to go, oh, but you're covered in dirt. You're covered. It protects it.
Wolf told me about some hike to get to something. It may be, I don't know where, some national park, and it's like a 2-day hike.
Yeah. And
then suddenly, and everybody got there like, congrats, you made it. And then the rich people started doing helicopters, and you're like, oh, now there's no joy to getting there.
What's the place in Peru?
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. Isn't it like a 4-day hike to get up there or something like that? It's like,
yeah, and it's like you earned it. And someone else is here like, well, you earned it.
yeah. There's a mutual respect and appreciation.
Okay, hold on. Usually I'll do this like this is coming up this coming week, so I'll do it now. But usually I do this later. But hi everybody. Let me tell you about today's guest. It's Andrew Schultz, one of the premier comedians in the United States
we don't
of
gotta do
America
this. I don't
and
wanna
thereby
tell
the
you.
world. He has just released a special called Life that is doing what I was hoping would be doing, is throwing it in the face of the UK Edinburgh comics. It's a theme hour to let you know that we are number one, you are number two, and the one thing you had, a theme hour, we have now taken it from you.
That's right. Okay,
Go check out Life. It's funny the whole fucking way. Why do you got to be serial for fucking 20 minutes in the middle? There's no reason for it. Who said to be serious?
Love it.
And Andrew doesn't do that. Check it out right now on Netflix.com. I still think they drop ship stuff to you if you're looking for that, if you still have that plan. Or Blockbuster. There you go.
Oh, let me get my phone out. I'll get
What are you
some
looking for
pictures.
now?
No, I was just gonna find you guys some like pictures of my experience there. Anyway, all right, so now I think you're getting a sense. So what I do there is like, To stay up because
You
I'm
wanna
an
do your
old guy.
pictures here?
No. Oh, does it go in?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So in order to stay up, I got to I have to use like Adderall.
Okay. Performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, I have to use performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
And then like I'll do Molly. Here's the thing I've noticed about me, like I can't party really for more than like if I party for more than 3 days, I'm over. Like my body just stops producing whatever is needed. So like even if I take Adderall, I'll be awake without the desire to have fun. This is where cocaine has incredible utility.
It's festival coffee, they call it.
I mean, and it is that, right? It's like, hey, whatever dopamine you got left in your fucking head, I'm going to find it and then keep this night going.
It's a truffle pig.
It is a truffle pig for the fun. Whereas Adderall is just like, yo, we'll keep you up, but we're not going to guarantee this is going to be enjoyable for you, you know? So, but I'll do Adderall drink and then I'll do Molly a little bit. And the night that we did, like, there's like a Tesla, you know, that pill.
Are you worried about fent at all? Fentanyl?
Now that I have a kid, like I haven't done drugs since I had a kid. I haven't even smoked. I haven't done anything since I have a kid. Like Adderall, but not like anything that like
smoked. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But so this would be tricky because like part of the experience there is having that peak moment where you're like you're with your friends and the music you're hearing is the best music you've ever heard, and they think it's the best music they've ever heard, and the people around you, you're so stoked that they can feel your energy, and there's a guy next to you and he's like the music and you're just like, bro, this is amazing music. It's in.
Yeah, right. You're just like with somebody and they're just like, we're both going through this.
It's
so
awesome.
now we're friends.
We're friends and everything's great and you're great and it's amazing time.
So Billy Strings concerts are.
Shout out to Billy Strings.
Everybody just goes, "It's your first one? Oh my God, you got to know this. Okay, come, go stand there for the next song."
And isn't that, it's a beautiful enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a lot of places like, oh, you're here.
Poser.
Where are you coming from? You're posing. Exactly. This is not the energy. Now there are those people there. I remember that happened once. Like somebody said, we were like way out in deep ply and we were biking by some people that were sitting down. They were probably on LSD. They were like looking at certain things. Like they have like LSD tents or mushroom tents. They have a tree that like, let me show you.
Okay. By the way, Andrew has no tour dates.
No, I got to take some time off.
Yeah, I love it. I fucking for real love it.
You get that shit.
Yeah. I am finishing up my tour. I'll be in Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton this week, and then Anchorage. All the storytelling shows are very nearly sold out in April. But get tickets at RShaffir.com and subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. All right.
Oh, we're here. We're in deep. Okay, you want to see my first ever experience at Burning Man?
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is it.
Did you do the accessory thing? Did it ask? There it is. It's on.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So this is whoopsie.
That's an art car?
No, that's just a deer drill. So this is one of the first things I see. I'm biking out onto Burning Man.
Your first year?
Yeah, and I'm like, I just land. I'm like, what the hell is this place? I have no clue what's going on. Okay, and then do we have audio on this?
Let's try.
So here is just a thing that someone made. Got him. Somebody just built this entire thing.
Wow, it's a big fucking Vitrola?
So it's just there, and there are hundreds of these things that people just decide to build. Here's this LSD tree thing. So the tree's leaves are changing colors in different patterns.
That's perfect.
Look at all these people underneath.
That's perfect. And the trees, it's perfect for acid.
Right?
The changing, it's always just keeps changing. That's fucking perfect.
So how do I make sure people don't text me? Do not disturb. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so here's like a version of what the man looks.
Sideways. Let me see that.
And then here's like, this would be a party during the day.
Wait, hold that sideways for a second.
Oh.
Yes. Okay.
So look at all those people.
Steampunk Central.
So that's
wow.
Yeah, the
Everyone's just up on
steampunk is kind of like
that's the vibe.
Informing it for sure. I would say that's like the most like almost
common
hacky. I don't want to call hacky, but more common version of it.
Basic.
So all the glasses and shit have
this guy
utility.
rules. Who the fuck is that?
And he's just some dude who brought his thing and he's like, I'll play with it. So they set this up. This is kind of wild. So
Mad Max?
They, literally. So these two guys just, but you and I can do it. We just decide to go do it. And these things just bounce around. And then I'm filming this from up on the cage. There's a domed cage.
Like Mad Max?
Exactly, yeah.
What? Oh my God.
So.
Oh my God.
So there's just like thousands of these little things. And then like just random people passed out.
Dunzo.
You know? So there's like thousands. So that was the first. Oh, here's the end of the fence.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's the fence. So you really can't walk past it without knowing.
You just, no, you can't. They'll
And
just
who
stop.
sets that up?
The BlackRock like committee, and they have all these people that contribute their time. Like they literally have a post office there, and then everybody who's there contributes in some way. So when you're part of a camp, you contribute to the camp in some way. So you either have to like, you know, help build the camp. You're doing ice runs. You're monitoring certain things. You're cleaning out the porta potties. Everybody's giving back to the thing. So some people are doctors and they'll donate their time to that. Some people are, you know, they work at the post office. Some people are just like manage the grounds. But every single person working there is not being paid. And if they find out that people were paid to build the camp and then leave, they kick the whole camp out.
Because you're like, we don't do that.
The whole point of this is everybody contributes and tries to make it this great place. And we don't want the type of people who would just pay someone else to do it.
Tim Ferriss used to, you know Tim Ferriss?
Yeah.
He used to go be a sober, like talk people down at festivals.
This is that same tree.
Wow.
So now they're doing like...
Dude, the slow movement of color is so perfect for psychedelics.
Yeah, just... So
what
here's...
the fuck? Kind
so
of
here's a
music
little
is that?
baby.
That would freak me out if I was on drugs.
So this is this big meetup. One of those burned down, but it's Robot Heart and Mayan Warrior. My boy.
One of those burned down?
Yeah.
By
and
accident?
Then, look, so the sun just came up. So this is
Oh my
what...
God. So you're all
sunrise
stoked.
looks like.
You're all stoked.
Yeah.
You're like, we did it. We brought the sun up.
Exactly. So like, here's, again, this is sun coming up. This is probably my second time here, but like, look at his outfit.
Like, I have no leg. Oh, okay.
And then this is just like crazy shit. Like, look, somebody made an art car at Converse. So one really cool thing, I'm going to see if I can get this video, is like when you're in the middle of the playa at night, not the playa. Yeah, the playa.
Is that you with the hat?
Where is it? Yes.
Let me see that. What are you saying here? Wow.
And I'm just dressed so fucking absurd. Just dressed in the most absurd way possible. Hold on, I don't know what I'm saying there, so I can't share that with you. It's probably so embarrassing. I can't do that.
You don't want to record yourself on drugs. That's the problem. You're like, I'm not going to stand by this when I'm sober.
So like, this is Alex. Like
Alex,
like, so that's, you met Alex Media from the pod.
Wow.
So there's the sunrise. So.
Oh, you took all your boys out there?
Always, yeah. Try to. Whoever's down to go.
Yeah.
But like, look, somebody just makes this classic slide, it's called, and then you just climb up and you can go on a slide. But somebody dedicated a portion of their year.
Yeah, you can't just build that in an hour. You got to set that up.
Yeah. But look, this somebody built. Look at this.
What the?
Look at the size of that.
Wow.
These are, do you see what they are? They're carts from grocery stores.
Wow, deconstructed?
No, it's just put on top of each other and like stapled to one another. So there's Alex hanging off the top one. Look how dangerous that is.
Damn, Alex.
But there's nobody that's going to tell you what to do or what you can't do. Like this, I thought was kind of cool. There's people, because the wind is crazy.
Windsurfing?
They're like windsurfing on the sand. So now we're back to reality. Let me see if we get back there. Oh yeah, here we go. Like I'm trying to take you to.
I mean, this is such an adult playground
You just
for
see
drugs.
so much creativity. Like even if you're on them or not, you're going to see an insane amount of creativity.
You ever been to?
Look at this. Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
It feels like that, sort of, where they're just doing it for the sake of it.
This is less
but
dark though. Like feels a little dark.
yeah,
Like there's like a little.
when
like,
the gangs come in, it's bad.
Exactly. But like, look at this. Somebody took an actual boat. They put it on wheels, and that drives on the sand. That's what Soul took, in my opinion.
How hard is the sand? Can you walk on it, or is it really like beach sand?
So sometimes it's beach sand. Sometimes you can walk on it. When they had those crazy rains, it turned into like mud, so you couldn't do anything. So like,
Were you there
never,
that year?
No, you never know what to expect. You just never know what to expect.
And it's just the idea is just roll with it, whatever, just roll with it.
You have to rely on yourself. So figure it out. So like this thing doesn't look that scary from that angle, but like somebody just put these beams in the middle of the desert. I wish I had a better picture of them. Oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Here's one. So they just put these beams in the middle of the desert. It's so
You
interesting.
just
Like
climb up and just
this is a cool thing about art. This right here
yeah.
isn't it close to as beautiful as some of the other pieces that somebody made. It's just these two beams that are angled in such a way that gives you the confidence that you could walk up them, but it's just high enough where you feel,
If you fall, you're fucked.
yeah. And they were consumed by it. Like you would walk up, like, do I have the courage to do it? There'd be big lines to do it. And like, think about that. The simplest little thing was the most used.
It's so temporary too. So it's not
Oh,
like this is the
everything
thing
is-
you do. This is the cliff we all dive off for
No.
generations. It's like it's gone.
There's Mark. There's Mark in another little LSD situation.
Look at that overcoat and shorts.
He's got the what's it called? There's Akash. Akash came for one day. He broke his ankle or something like that within
What?
an hour of being there, and then he left. Not his thing. Look at Alex. Really gets into it.
He leaned in, huh?
Oh, and you see this beautiful side of him. Like, look at that shot. That's sunrise from the top of the Winnebago. My boy Ben Uyeda, my boy Jamil. That's, yeah. I mean, just
Wow.
I don't know if people have. So yeah, so it's just this like.
What's that
really,
video you like down right there?
Where?
In the
Which
middle,
one?
middle, almost left.
This
It's
one?
You hugging a guy.
that one?
Yeah, that one, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say that one, but the other one too.
This one.
You're having damn.
So this is
dude.
like this little day party I think called District.
So you've been going there 10 years?
Well, I've gone 4 times.
Yeah, over 10 years.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago, you were not like you are now in terms of size of name.
Not at all. Yeah.
So you weren't using your celebrity in any way.
No. My friends just were like, they had gone before. They're like, do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah. And then I went and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then I went the next year, and then I think I took a year off or something. Then I went another year, and then we went another.
How is it now that you're big? Affected?
No, like people recognize you, but like you're also going to see like people will see Elon walking around, or Diddy was at every single one. That's the kind of funny thing. Like he loved Burning Man. So like there's
Likes a party.
I saw Dwight Howard there. Like you'll see all these people, and nobody's like making it awkward. You might just like hang out. Like it's great. People will say what's up. They give you a hug. Everybody's feeling really confident, so they're not acting like weird and sheepish around you. They're feeling pretty good.
Oh, right. And also, you're like-minded.
Yeah.
You're doing the same exact unique thing.
Look at this dude.
What? Wow.
He's just vibing.
Look at that bass.
Just vibing on the bass.
Wow. Literally feeling the music.
Yep. Anyway, so that's the idea, and it's
How
just
much?
awesome.
How much does it cost, like an average person, to get it ready and go? Like,
There's expensive way and there's cheap way. So like the tickets, I think are like
there's tickets. Oh yeah, there's tickets, and you can't resell them, right?
you can resell them. They try to find ways to not do it, and literally their idea.
Aren't you supposed to give it to someone,
That's what you should do.
but then give them my money back because I'm out, but no more?
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. But then some people, they're trying to cut down the secondhand market because they just get expensive. Yeah. But the beautiful thing, yeah, it's like let's say it's $600 or $400. I don't know what it is, but
Okay.
it's like you're there for 8 days, so it's actually kind of a bargain for 8 days of the best DJs in the world. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
that you can go and be front row to everyone if you want, because there's no seats.
And then the cost of like the Winnebago's the cost of the Winnebago.
You don't have to Winnebago. You could tent.
You could tent.
You know what I mean?
But
Like,
you got to get a swamp cooler or something.
yeah, what I'm saying is there's cheap ways to do it,
Oh.
and price is an inhibiting factor in that, like, it's hard for people to take a week off of work.
Sure.
It's hard for people to fly to the
But
closest.
there's guys
place
who are
there.
like, that's my vacation every year.
Yeah.
I get 2 weeks in America, worst country in the world for vacations, and I'm taking it for that.
and they go there and they get after it. And they're like, I want to make it. For me, it's like, I want to make it as enjoyable as possible, in that I want to be comfortable so that I can absorb as much of the time that I can. So I would rather spend more money on the Winnebago. I'd rather have the AC running. Like,
Nonstop. Just
yeah,
go.
I want to like sleep as good as I can, so that every waking moment I'm enjoying the time with my friends.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
fair.
it's not like a soul searching thing for me. Some people really go there to find themselves. Like, it's not as internal for me. It's more of a connective thing.
That's what you do with mushrooms. Like, it's medicine. It's medicine. Like, sure. I'm trying to watch The Killers on it. like, quit it with the medicine all the time.
I don't want to go too inside all the time. Like, sometimes it's not that fun.
Right.
Whereas, like, I get great joy from.
It looks like hanging with your boys.
That's all it is.
In a we have nothing to do here.
And it's like, what is? I really feel like people create their best stuff when they feel confident, right? I think the best version of themselves. There are people that have go.
You see a guy, Marcelo's a good example. I had this. I booked my first commercial. The next day, my sets were better. But I didn't write new stuff. Marcelo, when he booked SNL, just got
funnier
on confidence and the ability to be like, they're not going to get mad at me.
Yeah.
I'm good. I know I'm good. Just that you see it in people.
Yeah.
And then you're right. That's just your natural self. Where if I'm confident, I'm like, hey, how you doing? You're new here, right?
Bro, this is crazy. The first time I did it, and again, this could be placebo. You know how like when we're feeling good about ourselves, everything else feels better because we're less tuned into the negative? When I'm feeling bad about myself, right?
Tuned into the negative.
I'm tuned into, let's say you like, I'm talking and then you yawn. I'll be like, oh, is he bored? If I'm feeling good and then you yawn, I'll be like, bro, you tired, bro? You not get a lot of sleep?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it could be that. It could be like when you're positive, you just attract all these other positive things. When you're negative, you attract the negative shit, sure. But I'll tell you one thing. The first time I went, I only went for like 3 or 4 days. I came back and this sounds so like mumbo jumbo. It's so dumb. I can't even believe I'm going to say this. But I like understood how to talk to my mom better. Like every conversation I had with people, I understood what they wanted, not what they were saying, but what they wanted out of that interaction.
That's the acting. What are they doing? How do I feel about it?
Yeah. I was so much more generous. Like,
what drugs did you do that time?
I just did Molly.
But the experience has to be an experiential drug.
It filled me up in a way where even when I came back, when I was talking to my mom, I was like, oh, my mom is anxious and she really wants my love. And she just really wants me to listen to her. And sometimes the things that she says, there's the things that she's saying don't reflect what she actually wants. So then when talking to her, I was really just kind of leaning into her and giving her that love. And it really calmed her down. And then I would have talks with friends and I'd be like, oh, wow, like, they really need someone to listen to them right now. Okay, I'm just going to, instead of trying to like extract something from them in every moment, I'm like, oh shit.
What do they want? What do they actually want?
What do they need right now? And how can I, how can I give them that?
When I say I'm thirsty, I don't want you to get me water. I want you to say, I too have been dry mouthed this. I too have been thirsty.
That white man can't jump?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. But yeah, like, so I know that sounds stupid and I'm sure it's not a drug I took or whatever, but I'm sure it is like
opening yourself up to the possibilities and really being like present, probably that for 3 to 4 days straight of like, oh, I'm in this now.
And everybody for that long was really nice to me, welcoming to me, kind to me. Like no one made me feel insecure or that they were trying to take advantage of me. Like think about it. I grew up in New York City.
So then you just chill. You just calm yourself because no one is trying. Right, New York City.
My whole life, every single time I left my apartment, there's somebody trying to take advantage of me.
Yeah.
There's somebody going, "Hey, do you want to sign up for this thing to help Greenpeace?"
Beat it. Right? No.
Hey, you want to
Can I
buy
just
these
talk to you
candies?
1 second? No, that's not what you want to do. Shut up.
Somebody outside, 10% discount on. The second I leave my house, it's people trying to take advantage of me. And they're not bad people. That's their job. But they are trying to fish. They're trying to extract. Yeah. So I'm on defense constantly. And then for 3 days, I go to this place where people are only trying to give me shit. They're just trying to give me a hot dog, give me a sandwich. They built a diner on wheels that's in the middle of the playa that makes coffee in the diner mugs. It has the stools wrapped around it, and they make pancakes. And I'm eating pancakes with a cup of hot coffee. The sun is rising. There's syrup on them. I'm like, holy shit, thank you so much. And you don't want any money from me? You don't want anything? Why would you do this for me?
It makes no sense.
When you don't want anything from me.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was possible. Like, I always thought I was a good person. I wanted to give back. But I didn't realize the true power of pure benevolence.
Manhattan or another borough?
Manhattan.
Manhattan, right.
Like,
that's the beast.
I grew up a few blocks from here. So The second I walk out that, there's a guy with a flyer trying to get me to sign up for some shit he don't even really give a fuck about.
Right. It's just, yeah.
Every day.
Do you have trouble after this reintegrating?
No, it was the best reintegration. As a matter of fact, you're so exhausted and depleted, and the second you get back to like regular society, you get a jolt of energy. Because you're like, oh, I could shower. Like every aspect of it feels good. Right. You're like, I get to be clean again. Oh, that was the best shower I've ever had in my entire life. Like, oh, I'm totally clean. Oh, I smell good. Oh, the taste of this. I didn't have a burger for a while. The taste of that is so good. Like every part of it is fantastic. Wow. But the transformational part was my whole life being in a place where people are trying to extract, and more so even with career, like I want what else can I get? I'm very ambitious. How can I get?
It plagues like our whole industry of like, all right, but when are we hanging, guys?
I mean, listen, one of the I think unbelievable things about Joe is the benevolence, bro, and I think that he's pushed that on all of us. Like the importance, you do it really well. I don't know if there's anybody that's like as supportive of other people for no gain on your own at all than you, and it's just like that shit is one addictive. Like,
you're pretty great at it too.
I try.
Everybody I help with the YouTube special, like, how'd you learn this? I'm like, Andrew told me about it. He told me, tell the rest of them.
Tell everybody. But it's like, and then
we're all better off.
Everybody.
That's the selfish part, but we're not even doing it to be selfish. It's just like, I care about you. Like,
once you realize it also feels better helping people.
Yeah.
And it's counterintuitive because you're like, I got to compete to get the thing I want. That's what they tell us. It's not like that anymore. Like we can all eat.
Yeah.
But when we were coming up, the younger comics don't know this as much. But when we were coming up, there's going to be 8 people that get half hours this year. Mm-hmm. Are we going to be one of the 8?
Right.
And if we weren't, it was like, well, they didn't deserve it. Da-da-da. Now it's...
What helped me with that is the who's going to get past to the Comedy Store, and I would get mad. I'd start to get mad at my friends for getting it. And then I realized it wasn't them or me, because some weeks she passed 4 people and some weeks she passed none.
Yeah.
It just wasn't me.
Yep.
And so then it's like, well, good for you for getting in.
You're a smart, mature person. But
Took
a lot of people don't.
Took a while.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't even get there.
Yeah.
Especially in our field, there's a lot of like, these are really competitive people and also insecure people in our field.
You see people going off publicly. It's a new hackiest thing. And you want to be like, bro, what are they doing? They're not stealing from anybody. I'm sorry they're not as good as you want them to be.
We had it buttoned up.
Yeah.
For like a 5-year run. There was like a 5 or 6 year run, and I think it was
support or be quiet.
And I think it was literally like when you went on Rogan, you became famous. And it was like it was a 5 or 6 year run where everybody was on such good behavior, whether they agreed with the benevolence and they want to support it, like I hope we feel, or whether they were like, I want to be on good behavior and not piss these people off because then I won't get it. But it didn't matter. It worked.
Either way, it spread from there.
And people were supportive. And if you weren't supportive, you would look like a loser. Like you were like,
hey, we're all being cool here, man. We're all being cool here. What
You're just going to shit on people? Like, what do you offer by shitting on people?
Yeah.
And you could feel it creeping back.
Yeah.
And I think it usually comes from...
What is that?
No hope. It comes from no hope.
It's some successful people who have hope.
Success is determined by, unfortunately for the bottomless pit people, where they are
compared to where they want to be,
where someone else is.
Right. It's comparison.
There are people that can sell out arenas, but if somebody is doing 2, that's the only thing they can focus on. And it's like, and it's so sad because it's like, whatever, regardless of what you believe in, it's like...
Probably know people on the top 10, top 20 earners list who are pissed about their position on it. I'm like, you're in the top 20. It's the over $1 million a year, and you're mad at your placement. Not even, I want more money. Your money's fine. You want them to be just below you. Like,
no. Actually, that's the most important thing. They don't want more money. They just want that other person to be making less.
Right. So if it's them make more, great. If they make less, also great.
It's pure bottomless pit.
We got guys, chill,
dude. But and then it gets rewarded because negativity is obviously rewarded on the internet because we all have these. The fear is what moves things in society. Like whatever we fear, we see, and but it is a problem, man. And
Rogan's great at that though. Everyone's like he's right wing, he does this, he does that, but at the same time, like he puts on open micers. He literally props up the lowest of us.
It's
people aren't paying rent, and he goes, "No, I got to have them on." Oliver Stone, you can't come on this week because I'm full with this open micer I just saw who did something funny.
I just mentioned Derek on the pod when I was
Gaines?
on Rogan. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Gaines. Poston.
Okay.
So I mentioned Derek Post, and he opens for me. I think you
I
know
know
him from
Derek.
LA, obviously. Yeah. And
More from Austin now, but yeah, I know. From
or
LA.
Austin too, but yeah. So, and I mentioned him, and I mentioned how he had he just shot a Don't Tell comedy
Oh, good.
special, and I was like, yeah, he's coming. I mentioned it on Rogan because I'm talking about how he's been killing on the road with us, and he's like, oh, when is it coming out? All right, I gotta have him on. Like,
It's crazy. Adrian's like, can I have, it's like, when is it coming out? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get you the day before. It'll come out the day. He already
Yeah.
knows, like, all right, well, I got to do that.
It's amazing.
Because it's a special. So that's the biggest thing
It's
in
amazing.
a 3 to 5 year period for
it's
a
amazing.
comic.
Yeah, and listen, don't get me wrong. It is incredible that he's able to do it, and like, there's a thing. It's like, I wish that every single comic that was like, hey, can I come on Flagrant? I wish I could have.
But
every
that's the
single
problem,
comic on.
too.
But yeah, the problem is just like, all right, well, unfortunately,
It's limited.
there's one episode we do a week,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, unfortunately that's the case. But listen, maybe I would be pushing more benevolence if I did just make it this avenue for comics to get some exposure for their specials coming out. Like, maybe that would work better. Maybe it would fill my soul more. I don't know. But I also have to be like, okay, well, are there other people that I committed to talking to?
It's also
And
now
then-
we have 4 or 5 specials a week. And you're like,
It's-
oh, I just can't, I literally can't do all of them.
I guess I'm trying to call myself out a little bit for saying this one thing and maybe not doing it to the perfect extent, but it is a little bit different in that regard. But I rack my brain about like, okay, well, what can I do even if I can't have them on?
You can post for
Maybe
them.
I can post for them.
There's so
Maybe
many
I can
avenues of helping now. It's
exactly.
great.
Like, there are other avenues of help, and I try to be as kind as I can and help as many people as I can with whatever
Advice.
But it is something that I've kind of noticed is like that like bitterness that existed in the 90s. That
Creeping.
it's not creeping. It's
So many of them are doing it.
but it comes from, in my opinion, it comes from just a lack of. There's two versions. There's like bottomless pit people who are just always going to be bottomless pits, even during
That's
the
fine.
good
That's
times.
that's their happy place, actually.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but like there's nothing you can do about
Right.
it. But the other version, I think, is like where it just doesn't feel like there's hope. When there's hope, and I think that was the excitement with like the early YouTube version, the early clips, and then obviously Rogan. Like, I think for young comics, I imagine the only way they think that you could pop off right now is if you get that Kill Tony.
Well, I was talking to Nate about this.
Yeah.
And he goes, we used to have something to aim for. Letterman, Leno.
Yep.
And we'd aim for a Tonight Show that actually mattered. People listening at home aren't going to understand this.
Yeah.
It like mattered and it really helped.
Yeah.
And then that kind of went away. And Nate's like, I want to create an avenue where
Yeah.
even if you don't get it, you can aim for this.
Yeah.
My old storytelling show was
Yeah.
like something I could aim
100%.
for to like, and then if you fall short, you're still ahead.
But there's a thing you're going. Yeah, I've been thinking about this, like specifically with. Also, it's great that Nate's thinking about that. Like
Yeah.
even to just think about younger people and wanting them to succeed. I was thinking about this like with New York specifically. I'm like, what is the thing that a young comic here can do to get on? Like, there used to be, okay, maybe I'll work on one of the late night shows. Like, that's kind of
Yeah.
not really the pathway anymore. They're not really filming TV shows left and right like that.
Podcasts, but there's so many. It's not standoutable
And,
anymore.
and it's podcasting is no longer the thing where like you do one episode,
Yeah,
you're
that's
a
it. That's
famous
done.
person.
That's done.
That's done.
Yeah.
And so there's this part of me. It's like same kind of feeling with Nate. It's like I want to create a property. Like, I love that Kill Tony gives so much hope to comics. Like, they're like, if I get on that, people are going to see it. Maybe I become a regular, and then I can tour.
You know what I was thinking?
I want to create something for New York specifically where comics here go, oh shit, I can get better with the best comics in the world because there's no question the best are right here. And
No
I
question.
also have hope that I can build my career here because it's not just clips anymore. And I see comics and they're like, but I got to do crowd work. First of all, you don't have to do
You
anything.
don't have to do anything. If
Like-
it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, I talk to comics about this. Like, I don't do it. Like, then don't.
Don't do it.
Don't.
But
Your thing will come around.
do something.
Yeah.
This is the thing where it's just like there's a little bit of this that's coming with the bitterness. There's a little bit of this culture of like trying is gay.
That's Shane's whole. That's his whole aesthetic.
But he
Trying is gay.
First of
is
all,
his whole
I don't
aesthetic.
agree with that because he makes
he's lying.
really amazing shit.
No, but he goes, I won't use good lighting. I won't. Trying is gay is his aesthetic.
Well, I don't want to feel like that's a shot at Shane because
It's not
I
a
think
shot
that
at Shane.
he does like amazing.
No, he's promoting that. He goes, this is gonna be bad lighting. We're gonna have awful.
You're
sound.
saying for the podcast.
for all of it is trying is gay.
But the sketches are phenomenal.
Yeah, sure.
The stand up is
yeah,
phenomenal.
but that's his
Like,
aesthetic. He betrays that aesthetic sometimes, but that's his aesthetic. He's set up where it's like we're just chilling, we're just hanging out.
I'd have to my
That's why he never built a big studio like that.
but
It's
my
like,
suspicion is with that is that like
he's lying.
no, I actually think it's like my suspicion is I don't want this to get too big the podcast. I'll put tons of effort into the things that I want to be huge and explosive, but the podcast is dangerous. Like imagine, look at what he went through initially with a podcast.
Yeah.
One clip could have cost him the thing that he always wanted. Thank God it did not. Podcasts, like as much as we say what we want about it, it's like we're throwing around lumps of clay and they exist on the internet forever. Anytime I get in trouble for some shit, they don't go to my stand-up.
They go podcast.
They go to podcasts where I'm loose with my friends and saying the most wild shit, and then you get 2 hours of justification for whatever you thought for the last 10 years every single week. So I wonder if, and I'd have to ask him about this, but I wonder if the thinking is essentially, I don't want that thing to get too huge because that's the thing that's going to make me vulnerable. Whereas if I just let the focus be on the art, the stand-up or the sketches or the films, that's such a distilled, whittled down idea that it's less vulnerable. Thoughts on that?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But I do think that, like, looking at that and going,
it's an aesthetic style. It doesn't mean trying. It's like, don't act like you're trying and like, look at, I've done all this prep work. Even like roasts, like little ones will be like, I didn't prepare for this. And it's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You're lying because trying is gay.
We all try.
Yeah.
No, I think, then I fundamentally disagree with that. And I've done tires. Like what they do is like phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I can't imagine that he doesn't on some level really want to try and want things to work out. You can't be great and not want and not.
No, he
put an effort
does.
in.
It's just the aesthetic.
We got to get away from that
trying.
because I think that their young comics or young creatives need to know that you have to try. It doesn't mean
a shitload of work went into you riffing.
Yes, and it doesn't need to be fake. Like you don't need to put on somebody else's identity or do something else. But effort is good.
I've always thought of some way to do it. I was never quite big enough of like a young comedian's special. Of just like, hey, here's some people I think are funny.
They keep trying to do it, and like even with like Chappelle backing them.
Yeah. It doesn't
mean
explode.
anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's more like getting comedians to blow up in the spaces for them. Like a young comedian, like for example,
right. 50,000 YouTube views for somebody new is humongous.
Bro, I was telling this to Derek. He was like, because he's on the road with us posting, and like he's crushing on the road, and he's like, dude, we film the shows, and he's like, do you mind if I put some clips out? And I go, of course, dude, put whatever you want. I go, he goes, yeah, I was gonna put something out from the garden. And I go, dude, you could do whatever you want. That's your footage. But if I'm somebody that's finding a new comic online, I kind of want to find them in a shitty little comedy club.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the clips and whatever is like the single camera at the Cellar or New York is actually goes better.
It's like an indie band.
Because if you prepared it, it's like, no, this better be on this level. But a riff should be, when you film that too well, to me, it's like, oh, you had a lot of takes of this.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It only works
unless
if in
it's
the moment,
really,
like, hey, shut up, man. Oh, well, look at you. Like, then it's okay.
I'm not even talking about like crowd work. I'm talking about like literally a bit. Like if you're a comedian I've never seen before, and I see you
want to feel like you found them. That's not bad.
And I go, oh my God, this guy's hilarious. Who is he? If I see you at the garden, I start going, how do I not know this guy? Who is this guy?
And you're not part of, when I walk by in my neighborhood late at night, and it's this crazy cool sandwich place. This guy's an artist. He makes like kimchi, roast beef, and cantaloupe.
Love it.
Stuff you would never expect.
Love
it was so good. And I found it. I found it.
Yeah.
And then I told Big J about it. He goes, oh. And then he checked it on Yelp. He goes, oh, yeah, 11,000 reviews. And I'm like, okay, but I found it.
Yes.
You know?
So how can you
So
be
I have
that
more
person?
ownership over it. It's my spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I was telling him. It's like, so for me, if I was like wanting a young comic to pop, like I definitely think using social media, at least to get that initial attention, but specifically not having it to be too refined, knowing that if you're a comic that nobody's seen before, the expectation is that you're in a club.
Also, personally, glossy is too smooth. It's not quite what I'm looking for. It's a jazzy art. It's a jazzy
I think for us,
industry.
there's a higher expectation.
Yeah.
I think for us, like I remember I saw like an uncolored treated version of your special. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first thing I said is like, you make sure you pop out from that background.
Yeah.
And it's because you spent, I don't know how much money you spent, but time developing what that looked like. No, it was cool.
Yeah.
And it was, you never even imagine it. Like that's low key some Burning Man shit. Like, it's just like,
yeah, it's just for the people.
It's just,
enjoy.
Exactly. Like doesn't help the funny. It does. It just helps you. Like, you wanted to make something look significantly different and unique, and like you did it with Jew too, with all the candles. Like, anyway.
I went from making some money to losing money.
Boom.
Just because I'm like, this should look cool
because it looks
for you
cool.
guys.
That's the most pure version. You're not trying whatever. But anyway, I like that. But I was like, I want you to make sure that you pop out so that the person consuming it is still going to like it. You got a higher expectation now, especially after how good Jew looked.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Right? Like, people are going.
Well, that's what I told Abrams. He was like, what do you want to do with this? I'm like, well, eyes are on us now.
Yep.
So we either got to beat it or fucking go blank white background.
Yeah. Or, do the opposite.
Yeah.
Go,
Industrial
you're in the void.
Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, let's think.
So how do we get back to
Giving is what you're trying to do is be supportive of comics.
also give, and like, we need to create some more opportunities for them in New York. We got to figure that out. That's something I really want to put time into. Like, how do we create a launching pad?
I'm 100% down.
Let's do something.
I'm always thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
it's tough. How do you get people to love something they don't know yet?
Even a discussion anywhere.
Yeah.
Of that these aren't so easily the best comics in the world.
Yeah, it is
like retarded.
Yeah.
It's every set at New York Comedy Club. This isn't like the most notable one or second. It's like every set I go, every other set, I'm like waiting to go on. You're like, they got the lighter, like, all right, I'll check out those last 3 minutes. And then I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Who the fuck is this? Yeah.
He's killing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're making it hard for you. And it's like, you don't even have tricks to be able to follow them. You know, there's tricks, if I follow you every time, all right, I know a line, I can get them on my side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm flying blind every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's 200 of those here.
But there should be an opportunity for them.
Yeah, there should be an opportunity.
And they should
We're doing well. We're not. They're not failing, but it's nice to be able to pay rent.
They don't think. This is my estimation. Whenever I see bitterness, I assume it comes from lack of hope, like lack of potential opportunity, right? Like I don't want to name certain people that people were upset about, but I saw some people being upset about somebody's success, and I was asking Mark Gagnon and some of the other guys, and I was like, "Are you hearing this?" They're like, "Yeah, a lot," and I'm like, my knee-jerk reaction was more, oh fuck, we need to find something where these guys can come up in here, because when they see someone else get success and they start being upset at it, it's because they don't feel like there's an avenue. Yeah. And not everybody is going to go shoot their own thing or clip.
And when you're way bigger, you don't care if somebody gets passed at the cellar.
Fuck.
When you've done Madison Square Garden, you lose that, like, what, they're in it. It's like, okay, good for you, man.
It's the weirdest thing about this is, like, the people that treat you like shit on the way up in comedy, the second you pass them, you have no animosity towards them at all. Yeah. It's crazy how that goes away.
Just some low-level hurdle.
Yeah, and they were dealing with their fucking shit.
That's the thing, too. When you look back at, like, Comedy Central never booking me or whatever, you're like, oh, well, I kind of sucked.
Yeah, it's like, or it's like you had a job, you didn't want to lose it. Like, I might have given you like a 2% chance more of losing it. It's like, why take that? It's not like there weren't other funny people. It's not like I was the only funny person or you were the only funny person.
And then all the venues that canceled us or canceled shows. It's like, oh, you just don't want angry backlash. You're not even weighing in.
Yeah. You don't really care about
I don't want this heat.
I don't want to. It's like you have a nice place in the Hamptons that you want to go vacation in, and you're like, do you want to deal with the stress over the weekend? No. Now, does that suck because you take on that responsibility when you take on a job?
Noam had to do this. When he was like, for one of mine, he was like, oh, I just got done with this with Louis.
Yeah.
He's like, can you just take some time off? And I'm like, no, man, I literally can't. I got to get back up. And he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
They're going to come after my fucking business again. All right, I'll put you on this week.
But he does it.
He does it.
But he does it. I admire that because most people would not have done what he did with Louis.
Yeah, and I go, I get it, man. I'm not part of this Comedy Cellar family the way I'm at the stand. He goes, no. Everybody's in the family. That's wrong.
He's fucking honorable, dude.
Yeah.
Noam is an honorable man and principled about it.
Yeah. Yeah,
because
now you have to.
Most people would just go, let me take the easy way out. The business has never been bigger. There's never been more eyeballs. And he's like, no, we're going to keep fucking doing it.
Because of Louis.
Well, that was
like,
part of it.
Obviously, he's like a man, so he's like, hey, guy, help me get here.
He has so much
gratitude. We were giving away 4 free tickets to any show before.
Yep.
I'm just going to turn my back on that? Fuck off.
100%. But it sends a message.
Yeah. Let me go over these.
Yeah.
Radical inclusion. These are the 10 principles of Burning Man. Anyone may be a part of Burning Man. Okay, so that's what you're saying.
Yep. We welcome and respect the stranger. No prerequisites exist for participation in our community.
So like whoever's in, even blacks.
Gifting.
You know what my friend told me? You know Baldinger, Brian Baldinger?
Yeah.
He goes, when I was going to go, he goes, my only advice is
Yeah.
the only word in your head should be yes.
Yes.
Anyone offers you anything, anyone says you want to do anything, just don't even, just
Yeah.
And then it might be scary, it might be easy. You want a banana? Sure. You want this powder? I don't know what it is. I found it. Sure. Yeah.
I get scared with the drugs because people will offer you some shit, but taking that route, that's another way to explore it. Like, this is another thing about Burning Man. There's 80,000 people there, right? So imagine how many little camps there are. You'll never be able to go to every single one. There's this part of me that's like, maybe it's some like manifest destiny explorer shit, but like every time I go, I got to go to the fence that I was telling you about, and I have to go over it. It's so weird. I have to. It's like you ever go to like the Mall of America and you're like, I want to walk this whole fucking thing. Like, there's just something about it where like I need to experience.
I just want to kill myself when I'm
there.
that's
another thing. Yeah.
Blow my brains out right over the fence and let it explode.
That fucking ice hotel that's inside of it. There's just walking around.
Remember when Mall of America, they built it and it was like, this is a testimony of how great America is. And now it's like, it's malls
dying.
blow.
It's dying. So anyway, I just want to explore. I want to do all of it. And then after going a few times, I realized like, no. Just think of a thing that you want to focus on. Do you want to see the sunrise this time? Okay. Do you want to just do the day? Why don't I just do the day one time? Why don't I just be sober one time? See what that's like. Why don't I just enjoy the art? Like, there's so many different ways to do it. It can become redundant if you're just partying every single time. So how do you find... I once sat in on a conversation about the Supreme Court justices and how that they were completely politicized, even though they're supposed to be like the most thoughtful lawyers in the country.
Interesting.
They still voted based on party lines. This was years ago, and I see this conversation happening tons in the last couple of years because of all the justices that were appointed. And I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Some fucking person on mushrooms was explaining this to me in the desert like 7 years ago. Anyway, so the other things.
Gifting.
Yeah, Burning Man is devoted to acts of gifting. The value of a gift is unconditional.
Wow.
Gifting does not contemplate a return or an exchange for something of equal value.
Yeah, when I heard it, it was like, no, you give them something, they give you something. But really, no, it's you give something, someone will give you something, but that's not why you're doing it.
And they might not.
Right. Someone else might give you something. It might be like not even here.
You're just doing it because you want to do it. This is interesting right here.
Decommodification. In order to preserve the spirit of gifting, our community seeks to create social environments that are unmediated by commercial sponsorships, transactions, or advertising. Oh, nice. I love that. We stand ready to protect our culture from such exploitations. Wow. We resist the substitution of consumption for participatory experience.
So, for example, we did a Burning Man episode on flagrant.
Okay.
And we put no ads on it.
Wow.
Because we can't possibly talk about that experience
and make money off it.
We can't commodify it. So sometimes people go there, this is pretty shitty, like they'll take these pictures doing Pilates or yoga in the playa, and it's the most stunning thing you've ever seen, and then they'll use it for their like yoga websites for their business. And that's what they're saying. They're saying you can't do that.
Yeah, they're like,
because you're commodifying this experience. So yeah, perfect example. But anyway, okay, radical self-reliance.
Radical self-reliance. Okay, so that's like get everything, bring everything in. And also, you don't leave trash there, right?
You cannot even leave, they say don't even leave spit. So every bit, it's called MOOP, I think. So every bit of, the playa is returned exactly to the state it was before. It's unbelievable there.
No trash.
Not even no trash. Like, you can put water in if it hasn't been in your mouth. But if you like brush your teeth, you can't spit on the ground. Now, no one's going to tell you not to. Like, you're not going to get fined. I'll be honest. I pee on the fucking playa all the time. Like, it's fucked up, but you shouldn't do it. But people do it. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, it's just soak in.
But the idea is you're peeing on. We want to respect the land, and you can't respect the land by just throwing whatever you want on it. So
didn't they have a thing where they wanted to put the city or the state needed to put trash cans in? You're like, no, we can't put trash cans in because that goes against what we're doing. Because then there'll be
people will just throw their shit out there. They'll think they
Out
could bring
there,
trash. But if you go out there going, I have to take everything back with me,
Yeah.
you're not going to take plastic cups. You're going to take this little tin cup. So everybody got a backpack. There's a little tin cup that you'll have on you so that when you go to a bar or like a party, they'll pour a drink into that.
Don't they have the fold-out bowls too?
Yeah.
Bowls and plates, so you can
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just pop
Get
it out. Like,
food
here,
and-
you have chili? I'd like
Yeah,
some.
yeah.
And then pop it back out.
100%.
Yeah, Baldinger said bring a spork
Yeah.
and a fold-out.
Huge. Yeah. And this Camelback. So you have like a few liters of water in your backpack at all
Yeah.
points in time. You can fill it up somewhere. You end up some random camp.
Steampunk and a Camelback.
Kind of wild. Doesn't
Wow.
go together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are very responsible. It's interesting. Like the amount of intensity you put into making sure you have enough water. I would never do this anywhere else. Like, do we have enough water? Do we have enough water? But
Did you ever do the rub-down tent? Or not rub-down tent, the Dr. Bronner's?
what's
Where,
that?
where they wash you?
Oh no, but I've had some friends that did it.
Do you ever
And
fuck on this? Do you ever fuck a rando?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not very sexual though, I'll be honest with you. Like I think there are parties where that is more the vibe.
Yeah.
You definitely can meet people, but like you haven't really showered well. You're dusty. Like, yeah, maybe you're like feeling good from drugs, but the feeling, I don't know if it's like horny. It's more just like euphoria from just being around your friends. But the first time I went there, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to fuck. And then I went another time and I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like,
That's Molly. Everyone sees it and go, are you all horny? Like, no, I just want to touch.
yeah.
It's not about
so
my
it's more
cock.
about that.
Yeah, I just want to hug.
Yeah.
Radical self-expression. Yeah, that's all the art pieces.
Yeah.
Damn. Communal effort. Oh, wait. A radical self-expression is almost like an extension of the gifting.
Yeah.
Arise from the unique gifts of the individual. No one other than individual or a collaborating group can determine its content. No one other than individual or a collaborating group can determine its content. It is offered as a gift to others. In this spirit, the giver should respect the rights and liberties of the recipient.
Yes.
I've started doing this, and people ask me about my special. I'm like, it's out of my hands now. What do you get from it? It's not up to me anymore, what I meant.
Communal effort.
That's just everyone joins in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then civic responsibility.
Don't steal. Don't like push people.
I imagine. And then leave no trace. That's the thing we were talking
Leave no
about.
trace.
Yeah. And then,
Participation. Our community is committed to a radical participatory ethic.
Yes.
That's to say yes, right?
I don't
We
know
believe
if
that
it's
transformative change, whether the individual or in society, can occur only through the medium of deeply personal participation. We achieve being through doing. We achieve being through doings. Am I saying that right?
We achieve being
There you
through
go.
doing. Everyone is invited to work. Everyone is invited to play. We make the world real through actions that open the heart.
Damn. And then immediacy. Immediate
I
experience.
don't even know what that one is.
And in many ways, the most important touchstone of value in our culture. Our culture. Damn, this is so interesting.
Like they've created their own little utopia that
Yeah.
exists for a week when everybody has, drugs in their system.
Damn.
But it is really cool.
How do you get in and out? And then I want to know about two other things. But
Drive in, drive out.
Is it like a
fly
mob
in, fly
scene
out.
getting in?
Oh, dude, on the way in, if you're going like at the beginning, there's a line for hours. And the line you could see snaking through the mountains on the way to the desert through the town. And you just get a little bit more excited every inch
Can you get out and
closer.
just walk around and like talk to people?
Yeah, they
because
do
you're
that.
all stuck in traffic, right?
Yeah, and then somebody like does a sweep of your Winnebago, and it's like adorable.
What do you mean? Let me make
Like,
sure you
we're
don't
just
have
making sure you don't have anything in here. Yeah. So
It's on the festivals. They're like,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
glass, so
Yeah.
push it back, man. Push it farther away.
I think
so
they're not
can't see
even
it.
doing for drugs. They're actually doing to make sure that you're not sneaking individuals in. That's what I assume it is. Meaning like, because each person pays
Has to
for a
pay for a
ticket.
ticket, right.
So if you just had to pay for one, you like have 10 people going.
Yeah.
And then, but you just build up all this excitement. And then your first time you have to do like a playa angel. It's like a snow angel. But the idea is like get messy immediately. Like before that, you're in your car and you don't want a Snickers to get on your pants and everything's like
Get messy.
Get used to this dust. This dust is with you for the next week. Don't avoid the dust. The dust and you
Or one.
are one.
That's so cool.
And it's just this immediate immersive. It's your first time, you got to do it. If it's not your first time, you don't have to do it. But your first time, they're like, get the fuck in there. And I thought it was like a really cool
That's nice. That's how Juve is too. Before like a carnival, they're like, "Hey, we're all putting paint and mud on you." Like, just do it. You're not going to avoid it, so just get it a little on your face.
Yeah, and you're right about like saying yes. Like I remember Alex. It was his first day. You know, this guy who's from Far Rockaway, Queens. You know what I mean? It's like I'm taking a fucking Burning Man. Now, what I will say is Alex pretty well traveled. He's done some wild stuff, so it's not like crazy for him, but he's out there. And some guy rolls up in a crazy bicycle that was like a circle. It might even not even a bicycle. It might have been like an electric thing, but it was, I don't know if it had a bed on it. It was just wild. He rolls up. He's like, "Hey, man, you want a foot massage?" And Alex is like, "Yeah, sure. I'll take a foot massage." So his first interaction at Burning Man.
Wow.
Is some guy is giving him a foot massage, comes back, I hand him a beer. He takes a sip of it. He goes, "What the fuck is up with this?" And I might be confusing my Burning Man, so forgive me if this is a story. But he goes, "This doesn't taste right." We look at it. And we realized that we bought the beer in Salt Lake City, which is...
Damn.
So now we have
2% beer.
2% beer for 8 days on the playa. You're basically drinking Poland Spring.
This is what you get when you want state rights. That's what you get. Some negatives. I'm drinking Polish shitty.
Fucking
carbohydrated Poland Springs.
Yeah, exactly.
Do phones fuck up your experience?
They don't work there. And the more people that come...
Yeah.
So the more people that come, the more the service goes away.
Okay. That should be great.
Yeah, so you don't have any service. You cannot communicate. And one of the cool things about it is like when you meet somebody there, you're giving coordinates for your Winnebago. Oh, this is actually really cool. I'm glad you asked about this. You really... it brings you back to a time before phones, not in that we're looking at it all the time.
Yeah.
But in terms of planning.
Meet me at 5. It's like, I can't be like, I'm late.
Yeah.
Like, you better be there on time.
So now events really matter because events become these things where you can reunite with your friends. So, all right, I'm going to take a nap. I'm sick. What are you guys doing tonight? Well, we're going to go to this thing here, and then we're probably going to make it over to that thing there. So there was a night where like I just slept until late. I tried to meet my friends at one party. They had already went to another one. I was like, man, where is everybody? I go to another party. They're not there. I'm by myself. I'm exploring. I go to the post office, have a great conversation with this dude, connect, write a letter to my what? Who did I write a letter to? No, I don't think I was married yet. Write a letter to maybe my mom or dad or something. I forget who I wrote a letter to. Like, just, you know what I mean? You're like, you're just kind of like, and then I end up finding them later.
Because they're the second coordinate. You're like,
no,
I'll be here at 10. I'll be here at 12.
It was a random thing.
Oh, you just met him.
And then imagine the feeling you have when you randomly bump into your group of friends.
Oh,
we did it! Right?
I fucking love that. Oh.
So this happens all the time. There's these like, and now you can find different ways, but like you leave notes on a whiteboard. Hey, Schultz, when you wake up, we went to blah, 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 and blah, blah, if you want to come. So there's this old fashioned form of communication where you really don't take for granted the idea of separation. Separation means like, I might not see you for a day. We have
when we were kids,
5 days here.
When we were kids, like, where's everybody? I think at the park. No,
people come and knock on your Winnebago door like, hey, Schultz, what's up, man? And you're sleeping. It's like, oh, dude, I just got in. Somebody told me you lived here. I've been asking around everywhere. You're just knocking on random Winnebagos until hopefully you find the person. Remember, you give a coordinate and then you give a letter. That's this whole street.
Yeah, it's like go to the bathrooms, then go down about 30 feet or so and inside.
I live on 20th Street between 2nd and 3rd. And then you have to knock on every apartment building asking if somebody lives there.
You know how I used to find Joey Diaz when we were on the road together? He could tell me what floor you were on, and I just smell for weed until it got stronger or less strong.
It's great.
And then I usually I'm going for it, and then I would find it.
Yeah.
Or I got the Schultz stance.
Yeah.
got peak Schultz here.
Now you're making me want to go back this year, man.
Yeah.
But these little
so no one's
things.
like taking photos all the time and like interrupting
you take photos
shit.
and videos, absolutely, and that has definitely changed it. And the big interruption people are talking about now is electric bikes
versus
pedal bikes. I think it's improved Burning Man.
You can get somewhere without spending a day to get there.
You can enjoy more places, but what it has done, and this is where you would say it's hurt it, is that there's less of a commitment to enjoy the place you got to. It allows you to have FOMO. You're like, this party's all right, but maybe that one's better.
And you can get to the other party faster instead of going, well, we're here. I mean, I'm not going.
So one night what we did is we got on an art car. We didn't take our bikes. And now you're submitting yourself to wherever the art car is going to take you. And that might be miles away.
And you get out there and you're like, now let's slowly walk back and find some stuff along the way.
Find some other stuff. But it's like...
And it just like hits you with fun things to do on your walk.
Constantly.
Like a fucking Lord of the Rings.
You
like,
just see something in the distance. You're like, let's walk towards that. And then you get there and it's like, oh, this just ended. You're like, oh, damn. You see something else in the distance. Let's bike towards that. You get there and you're like, what the fuck is this crazy seance is happening here? You see something you hear something, but there's no lights, but you hear it. You go towards the noise. It's...
Wow.
Just constant exploration.
Are there different kinds of music? Is it all EDM based, or is there like a honky tonk?
There's mostly
can,
EDM, but yeah, you will find like, oh, there's a 90s hip hop night. There's whatever. There's literally like a book of everything you can do, from like getting your hair washed to like.
There's a book
that goes out every year. Yeah, of all the different things, what times and where they're at.
So when I did it before, I was like, should we make a comedy show as a gift?
Yeah.
And then there was like, would you say like 2 p.m. every day we'll be having it? You're welcome to stop by. And you register it?
So you could register or you could not register.
You could just do it.
What I always thought would be cool is like putting a stage and a mic and a stool and a joke book on the stool in the middle of the...
And letting people just read them?
And letting people be a comic.
That's fun.
And giving
Get
them
the experience.
Give them the experience
good jokes,
of making
good
people
bits,
laugh.
And like, okay.
You know, and then who knows? Then maybe there's 20 people, and then you just pull up, and then all of a sudden
it's a big one.
You're ripping, and then other people are seeing it happen, and then
you ever see Jewel get in? Remember Jewel?
Yeah, of course,
singer,
yeah.
Get in costume and do karaoke.
Yeah,
and she played this sheepish, like, oh no, guys, I can't, and then rips it. And everyone's like crying, like, what? But she's ugly. How could she be good?
That only works in Britain.
Wow, dude. Yeah, it makes me fucking wanna. So my standard for these podcasts, not to sum it up, but is at the end of these, I'm like, oh, I got to get to that place, and I really want to get to this place.
This is why I
now.
thought you'd like it, and I'm always like, I always tell people everybody should go, but I thought you would like it.
In particular, just
because you have a curiosity about travel. Also, you're not afraid of doing drugs, but also like your connectivity with people. And like, I think you see through a lot of bullshit. So I think you'll see certain people and you go, oh, you're just doing this like Burning Man facade. But then you'll see other people and you're like, oh, wow, like you've really committed a serious part of your life to giving other people a great experience here. Like, tell me, why do you do that?
Yeah.
And you'll like, people will open up. Like, I would say don't underestimate the playa or whatever. That's what we would call it. Like, don't underestimate it.
That's Mother Nature?
No,
that's your
just
version
like
of calling
the space,
it Mother Nature?
the playa. But it's like, don't underestimate Burning Man.
Right.
Meaning like push people, like have tough conversations, like see, like I'm actually curious to see what it's like in like a politicized environment. Cause it's like, you got to include me radically. You got to radically include me. So push people, see where they're willing to go. Like see if they're really up to the values of the place. Remember who started it? Those people.
The Cacophony Society.
Remember who started it?
They want like make people go what?
People. Dude, they have
SantaCon was started by them.
So they have like the skirts on Tuesdays or something like that, where everybody runs a marathon of skirts. They have like this. They have all these other little things that are part of that ethos, where there are people kind of pranking, etc. Doing so. They'll have a thing where it's like people will be promoting a party that doesn't exist, just to get people to the middle of the playa, and then there'll be a thing there that says, "Just kidding."
Go enjoy.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, so whatever, right?
I love that.
Like, dude, they did this thing where they're like, this huge DJ is going to be at this thing. Thousands of people came. They're like, they're not even here. Like,
and they're like,
they're doing it to fuck with you. Cause you're just here to DJ hop.
You're not the right person. Shake it up.
So whatever you want to make of it, I believe there is room for you to do.
I love temporary art where like this isn't about commodifying it. It won't be here long. It's here right now in this thing, and then it will go away. So you're just experiencing here, and it sounds like this is all that is there.
Yeah.
You're not going to put that in a gallery later. It's taken down and gone forever. The man itself, it's like it's literally burned up.
And like, who would put that much time into something that goes away? It's something really pure about that, right? Like, imagine to work your whole year developing this thing, buying all the materials to put it up, putting it up, and then just lighting it on fire.
Just
for
the sake of it.
What the fuck?
It for the sake of it.
Yeah.
You know how they train?
But it's kind of what we do. I don't want to make it about us, but like the idea of building a joke, building a set, putting it out there, it's lighting it on fire for us in that we'll never be able to use those jokes. We'll never be able to get that experience from that audience from those jokes. Like those jokes' utility to us is gone after that moment. we proverbially lighting it on fire in terms of how it makes us feel. Now it just makes other people feel things.
Right.
We
And
can't get the laughs. We can't get the applause. Once we put it out, we're giving it.
Dude, I was dating a chick and she quoted a joke of mine from like 15 years earlier. She says, one guy did whatever. It's like,
No way.
What?
She
And she goes, yeah, I always remembered it. Do you know who that was? I'm like,
It was me.
yeah. She's like, no fuck. It was like 8 years
Do you
before I met
remember
her.
the joke?
Yeah, it was about how at strip clubs, a lot, like when women turn their fucking pussy inside out. It was a whole thing about, but then this thing where they go like
Oh,
that.
yeah, like clap the
It's like,
feet.
get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck out of here.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
one's into that.
yeah.
No one has a Wizard of Oz fetish that makes you want that. Who told them that? Who told them we're into that?
And so she's just retelling you this bit.
Yeah, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Right now, you know that's me.
Wow.
But yeah, that's what stand-up is too. When sometimes you're like on the road somewhere else,
Yep.
or on vacation with your chick, and then you're like, you walk past like, wait, is there a mic going on there?
Yeah.
Is that a show? And you're
Yeah.
like, hey, do you mind if I just take 10 minutes here? And you're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's like 30 people in there.
Yeah.
It's not nobody.
Yeah.
It's like an actual show.
Yeah.
Then I can like not take a full week off. I can
Yeah.
like, this Wednesday's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Let me just do that.
Yeah.
And it's like not for anything.
Yeah. But yeah, specifically burning material. Literally, we call it burning material. I don't. Again,
Did you think of that before? Or just
No,
now?
no. We're right now. It's just we're doing a lot of things where it's like we're making these connections, but we look at it in the same way. Meaning, once we put out a joke, it's dead to us. It has been burned. The only thing that it can do before, what it did is when we told it to people, well, obviously we can make some money, but it made us feel really good. Like we created something,
But the money's already
people
there.
laughed. The money's already there.
Yeah.
But people laughed and we felt really good. We felt creative. We felt smart. We felt all these things. Once you put the joke out, you can't see them laughing anymore.
Yeah.
It's now the experience with that is just for them. And I think there is something kind of cool about that with comedy. Musicians, we're jealous of them because they could play the same music forever. But maybe they don't know what it's like to never be able to play a song again and then just give that to the people to laugh at and
be like,
tell
it's yours forever.
boys 15 years later. I think it's kind of cool. Now we might be into,
I heard Henry Rollins say something. It's uppity, but somebody was doing an interview with him, and he goes, he started quoting some lyrics to one of his old songs, and he's like, "Oh, what is that?" He goes, "That's one of your songs." He goes, "Oh, okay." He's like, "How's it go?" The guy like quote it, and he's like, "Oh, yes." And they're like, "Dude, you wrote it. What do you mean? That's your song." He goes, "Oh, I just build the ships. I don't sail them."
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
same thing, someone will tell you a joke like, how did that go?
I can't even say
Yeah.
I'll forget the exact
What
wording
was
of
the
an earlier
setup?
joke.
I don't-
Yeah. But I think it's really cool. Obviously I love stand up, more than anything, but I think it's a really cool, unique thing about the art form in that once we burn the material, it's just for everyone else.
I opened a show for like a fundraiser for Shelley Berman.
Okay.
That old Jewish guy. I think he just died. He was on Curb a few times, a bunch of times. It's like maybe it was Larry's father. I don't know. But anyway, there was all these 70-year-old people in the audience, Jews, and then they screamed out a bit. He goes, "The radio bit, man, I haven't done that in like 50 years. Hold on." And then he's like, "All right." They did it.
And
was
he
like,
got it.
Yeah,
Oh, good
good
for him.
enough. But like, damn, I love that. No matter how big people are getting, you're in movies now. Stand-up stays a stand-up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they really care about.
Yeah.
Is the stand-up.
It's the only thing. It's the only thing that matters.
The rest is just cake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I think stories are cool, however they're told.
Yeah.
So like, if it's a film, if it's a sketch of these things, I think it's a cool art form.
this special life was full stories almost from start to finish. A few
Yeah.
bits, but almost
Mostly
story.
Yeah. So I'd like to see what like doing a film would be like, not acting in one only, but actually like writing it out and like making
it.
Yeah, like really making it and see if I enjoy that process. Just because I really admire stories.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, yeah, stand up is the coolest. I don't
That's
even
what I
know
like
what I'm
about
gonna
producing
fucking.
stand-up. I like making other people's stuff because none of these are my jokes.
Yeah.
I just like the building part of it.
Yeah, and now you don't have to deal with the like the emotional distress of recording it right and knowing if you've said it better somewhere else. And you just get to be there to help them execute that vision.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, hey, take that off your plate.
Yeah.
I'll make sure the seats are right. I'll make sure the air conditioning's right. Don't worry about it. Just get in your head.
Yeah, we forget how little a lot of comics think about those details, but they really make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I didn't do it. I was like, was the lighting way high? Did you not go into this?
Yeah.
And then everyone shooting it's like, oh, they just didn't do well, or they did good, but you don't know how good it could have been.
Even the people shooting it, like I was telling this to Cassetta. Obviously, we know Tommy said both of our audio. He's a fucking genius. But we were talking about how
rules.
like every part of the filming of a special, every like little division, or is what they call it, divisions, they're working against each other. So what makes the special look good often hurts the sound. I.e., like if you notice in mine, I have speakers in the front. The visual team did not want me to have these big speakers in the front. The audio team said that they could do without it, but they're like, it probably would sound better for the crowd. Now I'm like, I want the crowd.
I want the crowd popping, or I'm not going to do as well.
Exactly.
You can't replace. You can just get your shots.
There's nothing you can do to replace doing well.
Yeah.
Just
go crush. How are you going to crush?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what matters. So I'm like, okay,
That's what we talked about with the Beacon. When you were like, I can't do this other place, and you were like, how's the Beacon? I'm like, you did my show at the Beacon.
it's great.
How did you like it?
Yeah, it's great.
And
that actually was huge for me with the just like the confidence in
like I performed to you before. I'm not guessing. I did it. It wasn't even your crowd.
No.
Definitely overlap, but like.
But yeah.
But like, okay.
Yeah.
You crushed in that.
Yeah.
And it sounds right. Great. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. And just understanding that was huge.
I tell people that too. I'm like, go do a guest spot of the thing you're thinking of.
Smart.
The place you have to just try it.
Because these places have comedy shows. You can feel out the venue.
Some rooms are better than others.
Yeah. So like, just like knowing that like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what each part of it, what makes it sound good, like for the room, might actually not sound good in the mix.
Well, Cassette is the best at that.
He's phenomenal. But even if like the first day, for example, the first show, I had to ask a camera guy to be removed. He kept walking down the aisle.
And you're like, hey, stop. You're distracting.
And I'd stop the show and be like, guys, I said, buddy, I need you to leave. It's not your fault. You're just being asked to do this.
Yeah.
You're a good guy, but you're just making it feel fake.
Right.
Like I'm trying to do this thing like it's the first time I've said it.
Right.
Even though you know it's not, but I want to be emotionally
we're both
invested.
in there. It's wrestling. We both know
Yes.
what it is, but
It's
we're all
wrestling.
ignoring that for a second.
100%.
Yeah. So
And-
take a seat and just fucking chill,
Exactly.
man.
And then like we had the audio lower the first one because Tom was really precious about the audio. And I said, Tom, I need some more juice because I need it to hit him. I'll deal with if we have any reverberation in the edit. I'm okay
He did
with
that
that.
to me. Like 10 minutes into the first set, he goes, "Oh, he's yelling. Nope, I'll stop." And I trusted only him to be like, "Don't fuck with it during."
So that's the other thing.
But
It's
like-
like my rule is once I set the audio, don't fuck with it. I'll fuck with it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll go like this or like this.
But
because
you and I
can't be
are aware of
I
that.
can't be guessing the whole fucking time.
But here's the thing. I think that this is something that I think
If I
they're
wanted them to
doing.
scream and hold their ears, let me do that.
Exactly. But the audio people are used to comics that aren't maybe as aware of this.
That's it.
And they're adjusting to them. And then they get us where we're like maybe a little bit more into the tiny details of this stuff. And they're applying the same version of the comic that doesn't care. And now we're chasing audio because they're restricting and adding in the
right.
wrong
Because
places.
they're
Yeah,
scream.
exactly.
Dude, Cassetta was not available for my storytelling show. He was like, "I'm on a vacation with my wife," and I was like,
yeah.
"Buddy,
Yeah.
I need you.
Yeah. He's the best.
I need you. You
He's
gotta
the
be
best.
there."
And I tell everybody, he just gets it.
Yeah.
He's also like a real artist about his thing. Like
Yeah.
we were going.
Oh, we go there in the mix, and we're like, "How do you want to do this?" And he's like, "I could add laugh." I'm like, "No, don't ever add a laugh." And he goes,
Yeah.
"Thank you."
Yeah.
That's not what I get told by a lot of people.
You have
and
to.
their managers.
In my opinion, like you have to honor the room,
Yeah, if it tanked, it tanked. Then I tanked.
but I feel like you also have to recreate what you heard in the room.
Right, be in the middle seat with the laughs all around you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're taking only the mics that are in the back,
Yeah.
and not enough of the mics that are in the middle, you have to go, wait a minute, the middle was more representative of what I heard that joke get.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take that sound. You shouldn't be making something that's not there, but you should be at least, if you have somebody good like Cassetta, he'll give you a mix that makes you go, oh, this is awesome, before you even are doing tweaks.
Right.
Some guys are going to give it to you flat, And then you're like,
I bombed.
did I bomb?
Yeah, that's
and then
what everybody does. That's why I warned everybody. I'm like, hey, the first thing you hear, it's going to sound like you bombed.
you didn't bomb. They just didn't add any of the room
helping
in.
this mic and not those mics. Yeah.
Exactly. But then you're editing off of that bomb, and you're making bad decisions.
Like, I guess this one did okay. Like,
You
yeah,
have
you're
to
right.
do
You should
audio
get the mix.
first,
Yeah.
and then you do video in terms of
Interesting, yeah. Get
Like-
the whole thing at least at a specific place.
get it to a good enough place where you can trust the react. Because
That's
if
what Sal had too. I'm like, I'm going off what does better, but I don't know what did better. And it's like, yeah, we got to get you the whole.
you have to
we gotta
get
you
it
some
there.
mix.
I mean, the mix that Tom gave us was phenomenal to the point where like I walk into these things and like I'm like holding my heart in my hand. I'm like so terrified. I'm like, oh my
It takes
god,
me
did
2
we get
weeks
it?
to listen. I'm like, I can't.
I'm
yet.
terrified. I
can't.
because I don't want to deal with the disappointment. I push it off. Same thing. And I remember listening. I was like, I go, wait a minute. If this is all it's going to be, I could deal with this. This is good. And he was like, yeah, I did like a lot of pat. I really tried to do what you do. And here's another thing. And I want to, but like stylistically understanding. That's something that I actually explained to Tom. I was like, there are certain comics that are going to do long setup, big punchline. Stylistically, if I get into this kind of like almost like a rant where I punch and then I tag and I tag and I tag and I tag and I tag, I go, Tom, don't, because sometimes what audio people do is they'll duck audio, they'll take away laughs because
so you can hear you.
See here,
Yeah,
and I go,
hate
Tom,
that.
I go,
You can hear
Tom,
it go
Tom,
up and down.
this is going to distract people. Let them, if we feel that noise there, let them hear that throughout.
And it's
will
like,
give
well,
me the
then
oxygen.
it's kind of drowning out. You can't hear. I'm like, in the crowd also.
Yes!
In the room.
Yes, that's
I have
what they
sometimes
hear.
when I was first
Yeah.
saw Rogan crushing about like
Yeah.
girls' night out or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like I could only hear every other tag,
And that's perfect.
because I'm breathing too hard
Yeah.
and I miss it. So I miss it.
Yes, 100%. And then the other thing that I learned is like our director, he did like a line cut.
Yeah.
You know what a line cut is? Like where you edit it live.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, please do not do that. I go, we're not going to use the line cut. Editing.
Yeah. What's the point of it?
It's like the metaphor is it's like trying to catch a fart with chopsticks.
We'll do it later. We'll say back up for this camera angle anyway later. So what are we even doing it for?
So why not use this time to make sure everything is framed up properly for the shot if we want to cut
Instead of
to
going,
it.
go to camera 2, go to camera, it's like, I want to see all the cameras anyway. I'm going to want to see all the cameras on every second anyway.
So it actually doesn't benefit you at all. What it benefits you if you're talking to each cameraman and making sure they're in the right position so that shot is usable. God forbid they're in the wrong position
Yeah.
and now that shot's not usable because we're going to do the line cut. That's why I think editing comedy live, like even doing the live special is why it's like the bravest fucking thing in the world. I wouldn't recommend it because capturing the edit live, like how do you know when I'm on a punchline, you're not cutting out to a wide shot? I want you to
But
be.
you know what the material is going to be.
Who
so
knows your material is
Right.
like which director that you're hiring randomly has your entire set perfectly down
Memorized,
pat
like,
and choreographed?
And what if I
There's
want to
none.
like do it differently? What if I want to go left instead of right this set?
What if the audience is louder and you're holding that laugh a little longer before you drop it?
Yeah. The live special I never got. It's like, stand-up's always live. What have you added? A live sketch show is like, that's unique. That's different.
Oh, because something. Wait, why is that different? Explain why it's different.
Stand-up, every single time you do it is live.
It's live, yeah.
So
Yeah.
to record it live is like, that's not a bonus.
Yeah.
A live sitcom, let's say that, instead of a sketch show. A live sitcom, you're like, this is different than normal.
Because people are laughing in
And
that.
we're used to having it recorded, so this
Yeah.
is a different thing. But like
Yeah.
to do a live stand-up, like that's what it always is.
what it always is, yeah.
So no, you do your best of. You do
I-
a few sets, and then you show them your best jokes of each one.
I couldn't agree more. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It is a brave thing. It's not something I would do. I don't have the balls to do it.
I don't see the benefit.
But I don't exactly. I would rather you see the best version of that. Exactly. Do you getting some? Leave me some.
Okay.
Don't take it all. Don't take it all. I say that to my wife every time I fart, and she goes, "Oh, it's gross." I was like, "Come on, don't fucking take it all."
Andy Schultz, thank you, buddy.
My boy, thanks for
Yeah.
having me, bro. This is
Yeah.
great.
This is fun.
I really want you to check out the burn, man.
To check, oh yeah, for sure. No, I'll have questions when I start prepping for it.
Yeah.
It won't be this year, but maybe next year.
What you up to this year?
I'll be traveling.
What are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna sell everything and go for like 8 months.
Why not do Burning Man as part of that? That seems like a great time to do it.
I won't be in the country. I'd have to come back up to the country.
You'll already be. It's like Labor Day around there.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's September. I'll be somewhere near the equator somewhere.
You just pop back up. No attachments, bro.
Yeah, maybe. So that's not an easy pop up. I might be in the jungle somewhere.
That's also
I don't have
true.
plans to go anywhere.
Okay, fair enough. So you're just gonna let life take you.
Yeah.
So it's possible it could take you there.
It is possible.
You could meet
if
somebody.
I meet some people in fucking whatever in Borneo and they're like, hey, we're all going to Burning Man. I'm like, oh, really? All right, I'll go with you guys. We got an extra ticket. I'm like, fuck it. Yes. All right. Yeah.
I like that.
And then get back to fucking Papua New Guinea and eat some fucking human.
Need some.
All right, everybody, check out Flagrant and everything. You're about to get the Skeptic Tank bump. You're about to get 9 new listeners. Yeah.
Peace, man. Thanks.
Well, everybody, that's the episode. What do you think? I'm redesigning the studio. So, that's about to fall. And while I do it, I got my old backdrop right here. This is my mask from Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you very much. God, I want to go to Andrew Schultz. Thank you very much. I want to go to Burning Man. I feel like I have a blast. I was worried about becoming too famous, but if Andrew Schultz can go, damn, I can go. Let's read some postcards. Next week's episode, I have not decided yet. It's either me in Guatemala. I gotta save that for when I have a Sheath underwear ad because man, I had such a good time on. Damn, I guess I gotta wait. No idea who next week is. Go check out Andrew's special Life on Netflix right now. Let's read a postcard. If you want to send a postcard to me from around the world, please send it to 151 First Avenue, number 49, New York, 10003. This one is from James Bond Island, Phang Nga, Thailand. Ooh, that's close. Phang Nga, Thailand. That is close. But look, that's what it says. Really getting me in trouble here. Ari, I had a postcard with lots of different money a few months ago after my last trip to India, Thailand, Abu Dhabi, Germany, and Ireland. Damn, bro. I was back in India a few months later. I was back in India for another month after I stopped in Thailand, France, and Amsterdam. Dude, this guy fucking goes. I love a long-term traveler. I really do, where it's not just your vacation in one spot, then back. You're going everywhere. You know what happens when you go everywhere? You stop being tied to where you came from. That's what I find. Maybe it's different for you. You stop being tied from where you came from. So it's instead of going, I'm here in Thailand, I'm from America. Once you go from Thailand to Amsterdam, now your last stop was Thailand. And so now you don't feel like you're missing America. You just feel loose. I meant to send this card from Thailand, but fell in love. Oh, been there, bro. Travel love does not last. I'll just tell you that right now. You make out with this chick. You're like, let's start a relationship. It's all great during travel. Oh, we share hostels. Really great together. We could each spend $9 on a hostel bed or $15 for the single. Let's get the 15. We're saving money. We're connecting. And then you get home and you're like, he just pick up his socks off the fucking floor. You don't have a job. No job in Thailand. No big deal. No job in Chicago. Disgusting. I will keep going back for 3 months. Going back for 3 months in January, staying in an apartment and traveling the rest of Southeast Asia. Damn, I'm jealous of this guy. Thailand is incredible. Food, people, and everything. I think Thailand is the star. What's the word? With food? Culinary star of Southeast Asia. Although Indonesia is pretty great. Myanmar blows. I loved it, but the food, tea leaf salad, good. Everything else, and mohinga. Thailand's incredible food and everything. I felt more comfortable there than in France. Yeah, of course, because less body odor. If I had more room, I would tell you about my Thai love. Oh, is it Thai chick or a Thai person? By the way, can I just say ladyboy is a whole other thing from trans, and if you say you should say trans, you got to ask them. Ladyboys are a different beast. It's like unrelated. I can't even explain it. But I will tell you that I tried to fuck one, and I couldn't go through with it because I'm a bit of a homophobe. This chick was fucking hot, dude. There's no reason not to go through with it unless that dick got in the way, and it did get in the way. I didn't even see it. It's a hot chick. I should have at least made out with her, got a beach. I didn't have to see the dick. Homophobe. It's really disappointing.
Was a little skeptical after hearing all the things about these girls screaming. But this girl got my name tattooed on her arm, her second tattoo ever. Ooh, now I'm in trouble. Safe travels, Forrest. Thanks, Forrest. If you got a letter, please send it to 151 First Avenue, Box 49, New York, New York, 10003. An Athens one, November 9th, 2024. From Nancy and Jimmy. Go Ravens. Nice. Baltimore. Did you see that guy on the University of Maryland? Definitely travel. Dare Queen. I mean, definitely travel. But the refs are not going to call a travel situation. Go Ravens. Hey, love you, Ari. Also, there's a little bump in there to begin with. Thanks for the endless fun times. Love, love, love. Sending love from Greece. Damn, it's even got a Greek stamp. Surprised it got there. Greece is one of the most crooked countries in the world that I've ever been to. Romania is the most. Here's another one. Just some sort of Asian thing. What does it say? Traditional Shiroko. I don't know. This looks like Japan. Yep, Japan. Yeah, you can see from Nippon. They sent it from Nippon. Pretty cool. Hey, Ari. Love the podcast. Listened to the Harlan Williams episode and decided to do my own around-the-world trip. Oh, nice. Japan rocks. Very Asian. Sri Lanka is next for warm weather. Stay black, Eric. I'm going to get that. Thank you for the episode, Andrew Schultz. Everyone check out a special right now. Go see me on tour. I have almost nothing left. My whole tour is almost over. This week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Moore Theater, the Vogue in Vancouver, the McEwen in Calgary, and then something in Edmonton. I don't know. But tickets are all available at arishaffir.com, as well as my storytelling show. Only 2 shows left on sale. The 10 o'clock on Monday, the 21st, and the 10 o'clock on Tuesday, April 22nd, and then Anchorage, Alaska on June 18th, and then I'm donezo. I might add one more show before I leave. Yeah, anyway, we'll see. No big deal. Guys, subscribe wherever you're listening, and that's it. Next week's episode, maybe I'll do me in Guatemala. That might be a good one. No, but shit. Well, who else do we have? Let me tell you who we got coming up here. Afghanistan with Yoshi, Giannis Papa, South Africa. Ooh, Tommy Pope, Cuba. Tom Papa, Beirut. Sam Talent, France. We did that one. Jamaica, Italy, Greece, Congo with Baldwin Bankrupt. North Korea. Ooh, that could be a good one. Gagnon, the UAE. Should I finish? Should I keep going with Gagnon? Gagnon? A little Flagrant 2. Kuwait. Ooh, that's a good one. With Nate, Joe List, and Louis Katz. Carnival. I'll save that one. London Carnival. I'll save that one for when it happens. Josh Wolf, Mexico. DeRosa, China. I wait for his special. Ellis, Germany. James McCann, I'll wait. Ian Sterling, Denmark, possibly. Graham K, Spain. Fahim Manuel, Europe. Emma Willman, Netherlands. Earl Bernie, China. New Zealand. China, Laos, Stockholm, Switzerland, Japan with Che Durena. Guys, if you want the Japan episode, ask Che Durena when he's going to put out a special, because I'm going to time it with that. Ghana. Damn, that was a good one. Peru, Israel, Melbourne, Guatemala. That's me. Thailand. That's me also. Another Ari Matty episode. And that's it. Ooh, I got to record a bunch more in May. Guys, that's it. Please subscribe wherever you're listening. If you are submitting to the trip around the world, please submit it. I have to, now that I've gotten everything set with the storytelling show, tapings. Ooh, the lineups are going to be great. I'm going to get to it and pick out who it is. Or I'll narrow it down to 10 or something like that. All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until next week. I don't know what they say on the playa, but I'll see you out there. Say yes. Goodbye.